Good afternoon and welcome to Bethel College at the Wiekamp Athletic Center inside the Gates Gymnasium. I'm Paul Condry along with the coach, Mark Gardner. Glad that you can join us for a key Crossroads League matchup between a pair of NAIA Division II top 25 clubs as the first place team in the Crossroads League, the Indiana Wesleyan University Wildcats, are in town with a record of 17-4, 7-2 in the Crossroads League, ranked number 11, taking on the 22nd ranked Bethel College Pilots. Pilots coming in at 16-5 and 5-4. Coach, first of all, second time around, it's the second season for the Crossroads League. Everybody's played everybody at least one time. A lot of lessons learned. You as a coach and as a teacher, you know the importance of learning. And of course, I asked both coaches during the pregame show on how you would grade your respective clubs. You'll be interested to find out what they had to say. But from the Pilots' perspective, if you were going to grade this Bethel College men's basketball team through the first set of games in the Crossroads League, how would you grade this group of boys?
Oh boy, put me on the spot there, huh? I'm going to say C+. I think they've played well. They lost to some good teams, but they should have pulled out at least two of those losses. And so, I'd say in A you got one or two losses, B you got three losses. They're sitting there at 4 losses and really let a couple games slip away. And so good effort at times. They're playing well right now. It's nice to see Michael Mislin playing well, getting off the bench. We know what Benner can do. We know what Zach Miller can do. Matt Shells needs to play more consistent. We've seen him play real well. We've seen him struggle at times. And so this team's got all the talent. They just need to get together.
The Wildcats, winners of 5 consecutive basketball games. The Pilots, winners of 2 consecutive ball games. If you look at the dynamic in the first time around, it was R.J. Mahern stepping out and knocking down 7 3-point bombs en route to a 33-point performance. In addition to that, the leader, the heart and soul of what I feel, the Indiana Wesleyan program, and Jordan Widener, steady as she go effort. Probably the most competitive kid. Reminds me so much of Ryan Lightfoot when Ryan played here at Bethel College. Tell you what, I wouldn't want to play him in tiddlywinks or anything because he's a scrappy, hard-nosed kid.
Yeah, he's that guy that you love to have on your team. You hate to coach against him. And I'm sure people said that about Ryan. At first game, Mahern came in with 4 3-pointers on the year, shooting 17% from three-point range, and he goes 7 for 10. I think he's only hit 12 or 13 3-pointers since that game. And so that was one of those things that the Pilots didn't expect it, but they also didn't adjust to it. Pat Edding fouled out in 11 minutes. Can't have that. Pat's playing his best basketball of his career here as of late, and so Pat needs to stay on the floor. Brandon Gerber only played 6 minutes, was really struggling at that point, was kind of in the doghouse. Booker 1 for 6 in the field. So looking at the box score, I was looking at it last night thinking, boy, we only lost by 2. We should have beat these guys, and we didn't play real well, and they played real well. They did everything they had. They hit big shots when they needed to, and so it's a new game. Roll them out there and see what happens. The
Pilots with their improvement in the post play, with Michael Mislin stepping off the bench and having a great game, and of course Pat Edding coming off his finest collegiate game on the road over in Ohio at Mount Vernon Nazarene University. Do you think the matchup in the paint is going to be a little bit more even, if you will, with those two guys playing so well right now?
I do, and the thing was, Mahern didn't play in the paint. He beat him from the outside. He had 12 baskets with 7 from three-point range, but I know Coach specifically called out Mislin and Gerber after that game and their senior leadership or lack thereof, and really challenged them about not being able to come out and adjust once Pat fouled out. It fell on their shoulders, and they struggled. And so I know they both have taken it personal. They've had this date circled on their calendar personally. So
Indiana Wesleyan has owned this series as of late. This is the 92nd meeting all time. Pilots way out in front in the overall series, but in the last 10 games, Bethel has only won 2 of the last 8. And including 4 consecutive losses. So some of these guys on this Bethel men's basketball team, they've never beaten Indiana Wesleyan. So the Wildcats have been a proverbial thorn in their side their entire career. Let's just talk about keys to the ball game. What do the Wildcats and the Pilots have to do respectively for both basketball teams to win today's game?
From IWU's perspective, I think they want to find Zach Miller. They did a good job last time. Zach did hit a couple threes, but he shot from deep. The only way he hit his threes was 26, 27 feet out. So, they're going to find Miller. They're going to want to slow the Pilots down, not let them leak out off rebounds, get transition buckets, make them defend. Bethel has to get out and defend. And so from Bethel's perspective, they've got to contain Mahern. They've got to make sure the role players. I think Bettinger was 3 for 6 from three-point range. Vandewater hit a couple threes, real big threes late in the game. And so they've got some good role players in this IWU team. Everybody talks about RJ and Jordan, but they've got role players that Bethel needs to contain. Widener's going to get his. But if you can let him get his while taking care of the other guys, I think you're going to be okay.
The 92nd meeting between the Wildcats and the Pilots. This afternoon, it's Stand Up to Cancer day here today at Bethel College. You'll be interested to hear how both coaches talk about that dynamic during the pregame show. Once again, we're live from Bethel College. Pat Doherty, along with Tanya Condry, Matt Copsey, will be joining us shortly. Once again, Coach Mark Gardner, I'm Paul Cuddy. We'll be right back after this brief timeout. And once again, thanks to the many people who bring you Bethel College men's basketball.
Bethel College basketball is brought to you today by the Gates Automotive Group that has been serving Michiana for over 80 years. The Gates promise of fairness, honesty, and integrity can be seen each day at Gates Downtown, Gates Chevy World, Mishawaka, Gates Toyota Scion in South Bend, and Gates on Ireland Road, as well as the Gates of Granger. Also tonight's sponsor, Teachers Credit Union. TCU is a proud corporate sponsor of the Regional Radio Sports Network. TCU has the tools to prepare you for financial success. TCU, prepare for the future. Visit them at www.tcunet.com. Beef O'Brady's, good food, good sports. Beef O'Brady's is the home of the Coach's Box on WGCS 91.1 FM, The Globe, each Thursday night at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern. Tune in and catch all the action. And always, today's game is brought to you by the United States Marines. The few, the proud, the Marines. If you have what it takes, call 800-MARINES or visit www.marines.com. Hacienda Mexican Restaurants, come fiesta with the best chips, salsa chips. What came first to your table tonight? There's always something special going on at Hacienda Mexican Restaurants. And finally, Cardinal Bus. Today's game is brought to you by Cardinal Bus, the official travel sponsor of Bethel College Athletics. For all of your travel needs, call 800-348-7487.
Once again, the Wildcats, number 11 in the most recent NAI Division II poll, 17-4. They're coming off a sparkling 26-7 record a year ago, including a record of 14-4 and a Sweet 16 performance in the NAI National Tournament Series. The Pilots, of course, a year ago, a spectacular 25-10 campaign, and of course won the Crossroads League tournament. Their final rating was right around number 12. They'll be in action today. Mike Lightfoot will turn the page, working on number 800 now, as he has won his 700th game. We'll hear some thoughts from Coach Lightfoot on the pregame show. When we come back after this timeout, we'll go one-on-one with Greg Tonigal, the head coach of the Indiana Wesleyan University Wildcats. This is Bethel College men's basketball on Regional Radio Sports.
It takes inner strength and desire to become a Marine. When I finished, I was like, I did it. The moment I will never forget is when this drill instructor that I admire so much comes up to me and said, "Good morning, Marine."
PFC Summer Volkman became a Marine. Can you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
Hi again, it's me, Sarah. I just got a text from TCU that means my first paycheck got deposited. I can't wait to treat myself. Of course, Mom and Dad want me to save, and thanks to TCU Everyday Savings, I can. Every time I use my TCU Debit MasterCard, TCU rounds my purchase up to the next dollar and moves the change to my savings, so I can spend a little and still save. Visit TCUnet.com to start owning your financial future. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
The Gates Automotive Group has served Michiana for over 85 years. The Gates promise of fairness, honesty, and integrity can be seen each day at Gates Downtown, Gates Chevy World, Gates Mishawaka, Gates Toyota Scion South Bend, Gates Ireland Road, and Gates of Granger. For 85 years, Gates dealerships have been providing great growth opportunities for all of its employees. If you are interested in becoming one of our team members, stop by our family-owned and operated business. For more information on the Gates Automotive Group, check out the website at www.gatesautomotive.com.
College basketball here today from the Gates Gymnasium at Bethel College. Wildcats of Indiana Wesleyan in town taking on the Pilots. Longtime friend Greg Tonigal joining us here on the pregame show. His club, winners of 5 straight games, come in today. As we've gone through the first half, Greg, of this Crossroads League, I call this the second season. You're a teacher coach. How would you grade your team for the first semester, if you will?
Well, we were flunking for a little bit, and then we decided to do a little extra credit and got caught back up a little bit, but there's a lot of work to be done, I can tell you that.
What do you like about this group?
Well, we're improving, and we're playing our best basketball now, so certainly like a team that's playing better in January and February than they were in November, December. And they come to work every day. I really like practicing with this group. And as a coach, if they're going to practice hard and compete every single day, that's all you ask for.
As you look back on the first game between these two clubs, it was a nip and tuck affair, as they seem like they always are. What can you take from the first game around between Bethel and parlay that into your success today?
You know, I went back and watched that game, and we're a different team, but so are they. I mean, I didn't see a lot of resemblances other than, you know, the players that were out there. So that was so early. I can't believe we were playing conference, you know, at that time. But I think both teams have improved since then. Both teams have shored up some things, and so it's going to be another great battle today.
Well, when your big guy can step out and knock down the 3-ball like he did in the first game, that really, really opened it up. And I did not know that he can light it up like that. Has he had that type of game since then?
He has. You know, he hadn't until that point. That was kind of his coming out party. But that's what he was at Indiana State. He was a shooter. We had been waiting for him to break that slump, and so he did come out of it that game. And he's been shooting it well. I mean, he hadn't hit 8 threes or whatever he hit that night, you know, since then. But he's been making shots.
I've said to many people that Jordan Widener is worth the price of admission. He reminds me a lot of Ryan when Ryan played here. He's a scrappy, hard-nosed guy, hates to lose. I was talking with Devin just earlier ago, and he said that he doesn't want to lose in anything that he does. I like that kind of guy.
He's got an intangible quality that you can't teach or coach, but yet it impacts those around him. I mean, he raises his teammates' level of play just simply by being a tough-minded kid, and that's something that our program has benefited probably greater than his scoring and even his passing is just the intangible toughness.
What I like about the Basketball Coaches Association is doing today, they're honoring the entire cancer dynamic. You know, guys who are wearing the gym shoes today, getting ready to go. I think they're more natural in their own environment with gym shoes, at least in my opinion. But everybody's thinking about somebody, how cancer's affected their life or a friend of theirs. Who's Greg Tonigal thinking about today?
You know, I'm thinking about Neil Young, Goshen's coach, a friend of mine who recently had to just take a step back for a season right now as he is dealing with chemo and radiation. And Neil's a great guy. He's a warrior. Guy's got a great attitude. Just took over the program this year, so he's a young coach. And the fact that I get to coach today healthy, I feel blessed. And he's obviously dealing with some issues, but I'm standing in the gap for him today.
Awesome. Coach Lightfoot's got the same name card, so you guys are both on the same page. All right, let's break this thing down. Offensive and defensively. What do you have to do to be successful and remain in first place?
Well, this is probably the best scoring offense in the league, so defensively we're going to be challenged, and you can't just take away one thing. I mean, they have so many different weapons, but they play fast, and so I think somehow we got to find a way to slow them down a little bit. And then offensively for us, you know, being able to make shots. I mean, we made shots at our place, and that was the difference of the game.
Best of luck, and as always, great to see you.
Hey, thank you.
Once again, Greg Tonigal joining us here on the pregame show. We'll be back with college basketball right after this on Regional Radio Sports.
Do you know that the Gates Automotive Group is the #1 seller of pre-owned vehicles in Michiana? Gates sells more, which means Gates can give you more for your trade-in. Stop by any of our locations at Gates Downtown, Gates Chevy Road, Mishawaka, Gates Toyota Scion in South Bend, Gates on Ireland Road, and Gates of Granger. The Gates Automotive Group has been serving Michiana for over 85 years.
Welcome once again here on Regional Radio Sports, Bethel College. I'm Paul Condry, visiting with Mike Lightfoot here in the pregame show. Great battle this afternoon from the Wiekamp Athletic Center. Battle of a pair of top 25 teams getting in action, the Pilots and the Indiana Wesleyan University Wildcats. We also start the second half of the Crossroads League season today. Wildcats at 7-2, Pilots at 5-4. Mike Lightfoot joining us here on the pregame show. Mike, first half of the season. All right, you've been a teacher and a coach for a long time. Let's give a grade out to your basketball team for the first semester.
Oh, I'm a tough grader. I don't grade on the curve very well either. But no, you know, I thought we did a lot of good things. I thought that, you know, other than the big bump that we had when Zach went down, I think that cost us a couple games there. And that's no fault of our team, and that's no fault of Zach. That's just, you know, circumstances that you can't control. But you know, through that, you just got to become better. And so, you know, I'm giving us a B, and I think there's room for improvement. I think we've got to get some other guys to step up during this time, and that'll be the challenge these next 9 games. Who can step up and who can help us?
You've had a chance now to digest some of the emotions and all the dynamics that came with achieving that amazing 700 victory plateau. Well, now that you've had a chance to sit on it, sleep on it, share your thoughts a couple days later.
Well, you know, I've just been really touched by so many people that have sent out notes and emails and cards and those things. That has been really a special thing to me in my heart, to be able to connect with former players and connect with fans, connect with people, area coaches, and people in our conference, and just things like that sometimes you don't get a chance to spend too much time with or talk to. But you know they're there, and I think sometimes we as humans don't do enough of that. I know I don't do enough of sending out cards and emails and notes, and so I think that's been probably the opportunity to reconnect with so many of my former players probably stands out there.
Today's dynamic is kind of interesting because before we're going to play basketball, we're going to honor those who are fighting this awesome and deadly disease that is cancer. So let's just talk about the Coaches Association getting involved and making this weekend very, very special, trying to tackle this dynamic. You guys are wearing sneakers today, and obviously everybody's going to be holding up placards today with honoring something. Kudos to you as you're going to honor one of your fellow coaches in the league, and Neil Young.
Yeah, I just think that there's a bigger picture, and I really embrace the National Association of Basketball Coaches for their stance. And this has become an annual thing across the board, from Division on down. I think it's something that probably Jim Valvano probably had a lot to do with. I think he's just his foundation in the American Cancer Society, and knowing that there's just taken so many great people out of the picture, and all of us. There's not a person alive that has not been touched by someone or personally with cancer. And that's yesterday in chapel we had an opportunity to pray for those people, and it was just a floodgates of students that were up front. It's just amazing how many people have been touched with this disease and impacted their lives. So this is a way for us to, again, stand up for those people. We've lost two very, very special people here at Bethel College. Leslie Greising started our cancer research program, and we lost her to cancer. Kathy Gribben was our vice president of Dean of Students, and we lost her to cancer. And those are just people that basically happened in the last year. And they were also, their birthdays are this week, so it's kind of ironic. So when I talked to our public relations people and talked about doing this, I think this is something that we want to continue doing, because I think we always need to be focused in on not just the disease, but the people that it affects.
No question. I think it's awesome, and we're going to honor those here today. Let's turn our attention back to basketball. Indiana Wesleyan comes in a red-hot 5 consecutive wins. They've shot the ball very, very well in those 5 games. So let's share your thoughts as you see a little bit different Wildcat team. I'm sure they're a little bit better than the first time around. Still pretty good basketball team, and they've got a great inside-outside punch that is as good as it gets.
They are really good, and I think that you want your teams playing really well in the second half of the year, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're playing extremely well. They're playing well offensively. They're playing well defensively. And the key behind them is how well they shoot the ball. And when they're shooting it like they are now, that's really tough to stop them, because they've got a lot of different weapons and a lot of people that can play different roles and different parts that Coach Tonical can put out there. So they're very, very solid at everything they do. They're freshmen that we played against the very first game, were just freshmen that just trying to figure out things. Now those freshmen have played a lot of minutes, and they understand exactly what college basketball is about, and you can see that they've really improved as well.
All right, let's turn our attention to the Pilots and matching up against Indiana Wesleyan here today. Let's break it down on the defensive side and the offensive side. What do the Pilots have to do in those two special areas?
Well, one of the things that we have to get out and defend, they're three-point shooters. That's a very important thing that's going to be a concern. We're playing small, they're playing bigger, so we're going to have to really fight hard inside, and we're going to have to throw our bodies at people and try to scrape and scrap and dig and claw, even for little things like rebounds. And so, we're small. That's just what we are. We can't make excuses for it, and that's who we are. So, I think that's a key. And then I think we've been fortunate the last 2 games to have different people step up. And I think that's going to be a key again tonight. I think that if we look at our team, we have to have somebody step up. Patrick and Miz have done that consecutive nights, and now we have to have somebody else, step up and give us some quality minutes. And it might be not scoring, but it might be rebounding and defending.
Once again, Mike Lightfoot joining us here on the pregame show. Pilots and the Wildcats here today, a classic NAIA Division II top 25 matchup. Stay tuned. We'll be back more here at the Gates Gymnasium right here on Regional Radio Sports.
Check out the new Gates of Granger on State Road 23 in Granger. The Gates of Granger is a full-service shop for all brands and models. With their state-of-the-art base paint and body shop, you can't go wrong when it's time for all of your detailing work. At the Gates of Granger, you can also see and buy top 10 models of pre-owned cars, pickups, SUVs, and vans. The Gates Automotive Group celebrating 85 years of integrity.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back here to the Gates Gymnasium. I'm Paul Condry along with the coach Mark Gardner. Pat Doherty courtside here. Thanks again to Tanya Condry. Bad news from Indiana Wesleyan University. Lady Pilots, a tough luck loser, and literally tough luck. They were defeating Indiana Wesleyan into the final minute, but succumbed by the score of 69-64. Looks like an official's call turned the game around in that particular ball game. We'll have all the details next time around. We'll get some thoughts from Adam Demery a little bit later on, but it is Crossroads League basketball, and in this one, wow, we're talking 92 meetings between these two clubs. Pilots have owned the series overall 61-30, but in the last 10 ball games, Indiana Wesleyan has had Bethel's number. They've won 8 of the last 10, and it's a busy day in Crossroads League play. A lot of the high school games around the area, both north and south, have been canceled. Just got a tweet from Dwayne Lewandowski that the bi-county tournament is going to be without a champion for the first time ever because the entire tournament has been canceled. But Pat Doherty, let's take a look at what's going on in Crossroads League men's basketball today.
Well, around the league today, obviously Indiana Wesleyan is here at Bethel, Goshen at Spring Arbor, St. Francis is at Mount Vernon and Nazarene, Huntington at Marion, Taylor at Grace, and Grace and Taylor at Grace. Those are the final games for today. If we check out the standings in the Crossroads League to date, 3 teams sit atop at 7-2. That's Huntington, Indiana Wesleyan, and St. Francis, followed by Marion at 5-3. Bethel is right behind Marion at 5-4. The bottom half of the conference, Grace and Spring Arbor at 4-5. Taylor at 3-6. Goshen at 1-7, and Mount Vernon at 1-8. The Crossroads League team has 4 ranked teams, as well as 1 team receiving votes. The 4 ranked teams: Huntington at 20, Indiana Wesleyan at number 11, St. Francis at number 8. Bethel Pilots right here are ranked number 22 in the country, and Marion receiving votes.
All right. Coach Lightfoot with his 2 sons, Robbie and Ryan, out there. They just presented him with a very, very nice plaque in honor of his 700th win. That is something to be very, very proud of, to say the least. But Ryan, as he was walking off the floor, he says he could probably absolutely care less about this. All he wants to do is win the ball game here today. After a rocky start in the league schedule, Indiana Wesleyan has rattled off 5 consecutive victories to regain control of first place in the standings. Today, games mark a crucial point in the season for the 11th-ranked team in the nation. Indiana Wesleyan, Coach, we talked about this moments ago. It's so important for both ball clubs. If you look at the standings, IWU tied with St. Francis and Huntington, the 20, 11, and 8 ranked teams, all at 7-2. Significant scenarios will happen, and we talked about this at the beginning on the Open, that you got to win these games if you're Bethel. They've got to close out the season. They've got to play well in the Crossroads tournament, because there is no guarantee that there's going to be 4 teams going to Branson, let alone 5. And if we were going to make the picks right now, the Pilots will be in the outside looking in, because they are in 5th place in the Crossroads League. So they need to step up and the second season starts now, and it has to start with a win for Bethel.
Yeah, and all those teams play each other again, and so there's going to be teams getting losses, and if you're Bethel, you view it as if we can run the table here, we're adding one loss to everybody, and then you know that St. Francis is going to play Huntington, and so one of them has to pick up a fourth loss, or Iowa plays St. Francis, one of them has. So as long as we can add one more loss to everybody's record, then the other stuff will fall into place. In this conference, so Paul, with the conference tournament, it's anybody's game. And so you don't want to be sitting in third place feeling really good about your position heading into the postseason, because if one of those teams at the bottom of Spring Arbor or a Taylor or somebody sneaks into that conference championship and pulls off an upset, now you get bumped down another rung on the ladder. And so it's real important. These guys got to get things rolling, and this is a great way to kick off the second half. You get a win here against Iowa. Got a lot of momentum heading over to Goshen on Tuesday night.
All right, we'll come back and we'll get the party started. A battle of NAIA Division II teams getting after it here today. Stay tuned. The Pilots and the Wildcats coming your way next on Regional Radio Sports.
College softball players Mallory Holtzman and Liz Wallace know winning isn't everything.
It's how you hold your head at the end of the game and how you walk off the field.
These two athletes carried their opponent around the bases after she injured herself hitting the winning home run.
What are they doing? Whether you win or lose on the field, if you did the right thing, then you did win.
And they showed us the right thing is sportsmanship. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com.
There's always a moment of truth where it's either put up or shut up. We were yelling our hearts out. Even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I don't know where the pain went to, but all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
Welcome back here to the Gates Gymnasium at the Wiekamp Athletic Center. Paul Condry along with the coach, Mark Gardner, Pat Doherty, Tanya Condry, and the incomparable Matt Copsey joining us here on the broadcast here today. Let's take a look at these two teams by the numbers. Indiana Wesleyan comes into the ballgame averaging 86 points a game, giving up 74. Wildcats are out-rebounding their opponents 37-32. Cats are turning the ball over at a 14.4 turnover per game clip. They're shooting 73% from the charity stripe, 51% from the field, 37% from beyond the arc. Cats are helping each other out with 16.5 assists per ball game, 7.5 steals, and 3 block shots per contest. And taking a look now at the Bethel College Pilots. Pilots are coming in averaging 88.9 points per game, giving up 73. They're out-rebounding their opponents. Nearly identical in the situation with Iowa. They're winning the rebound war 38-33. Pilots have really lowered their turnover ratio in the last 4 or 5 contests. Only 12.8 turnovers per ball game. They're shooting 72% from the charity stripe, 51% from the field, 43% from downtown, including 172 three-point baskets on the campaign. Pilots are putting together a 17 assists per game ratio, 8 steals per ball game, and 2.5 block shots per contest. Pilots are 7-2 here at home. Mike Lightfoot, Greg Tonigal have met 21 times. Greg has the upper hand, 13-8, coach. So by the numbers, what number there, coach, is a difference maker for either club?
Boy, I tell you, Paul, when I look at those numbers, they're so close. 86-89 on your offensive points, 74-73 defensive points, 37-38 rebounds. They're almost identical. And so I think it comes down to who's going to win the rebound battle. We've seen offensive rebounds really hurt the Pilots and any team across America, whatever level you're at, middle school, high school, college, pro is going to say offensive rebounds for putbacks are the big thing. So, these teams come in with real similar numbers. It's just a matter of who executes better today.
R.J. Mahern didn't play in the last ball game for Indiana Wesleyan. He had a bump on the head. Pilots know all about bumps on the head because Otta's season and career is over because of that. And secondly, on that same note, is we talked with Zach Miller earlier today. Zach will join us at halftime. I had a chance to go one-on-one with him, and he discussed the whole concussion dynamic because that's always something that you got to kind of play through, you got to live through, Zach's telling me that some of the things that he struggles with is just the music at the venues and things like that are difficulty when you have concussions.
I've had concussions, Paul, and music, lights. I remember working on my computer with my sunglasses on in the basement, in a dark basement, just because it hurt my head to watch, to see flashing lights. So it's really nasty stuff.
All right, let's go on down to Brian Miller, the voice here at the Wiekamp Athletic Center at the Gates Gymnasium for all the details in today's ball game.
Your attention, please. Bethel College welcomes all players, officials, and spectators to today's contest. As a member of the NAI and the Crossroads League, we are committed to the true spirit of competition as champions of character, embracing 5 core values, which are respect, integrity, responsibility, servant leadership, and sportsmanship. We ask each of you, as a participant, an official, or as a spectator, to abide by these values by creating a positive environment in which our athletes may participate, our officials may work, and you, the spectator, may enjoy. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome. Bethel College and friends, take a stand against cancer. Today's game is being played in honor of Kathy Gribben and Leslie Greising, 2 members of the Pilot family who lost their battles to cancer in 2013. We encourage you all to visit the tables in the lobby area to learn more about local organizations who support those affected by cancer. All proceeds from today's game will be given to Hello Gorgeous, a local non-for-profit organization who provides complimentary makeovers to women who battle cancer. Fans, as we honor America with today's opening prayer and then the singing of our national anthem, we ask that you please remain standing afterwards. As one community, we will stand up for those who are fighting this disease. As you stand, we ask you to hold your sign, Stand Up Against Cancer card with the name of the person or persons that you're standing for here today. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask you to please rise and kindly remove your caps as Bethel College Junior Varsity men's basketball coach Mark Gardner will lead us in this afternoon's opening prayer.
Let us pray. Father, we just thank you for this great game of basketball. We thank you for the opportunity to be here and participate as players, coaches, officials, and spectators. We ask for safety for the players and the officials today. Lord, we ask that our actions and our words on and off the court would glorify you. We ask for safe travels as we get home. And Lord, we just want to take a moment and think about those who are battling cancer. Specifically think of Coach Young over at Goshen from our own conference as he's fighting it. And we just lift him up. And Lord, just we pray for all those who have fought the battle and continue to fight that battle. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Fans, please remain standing as we honor America and those who serve and protect our great country with the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner. Today's national anthem will be performed by Bethel College senior Janelle Runquist.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Fans, that is Bethel College senior Janelle Runquist. Fans, at this time, please remain standing to honor those fighting cancer in memory of those who've lost the battle. Please hold your cards high in pride and a moment of silence. Fans, thank you for standing up against cancer. Once again, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Gates Gymnasium here on the campus of Bethel College. This is the Wiekamp Center. Thank you for attending today's men's basketball Crossroads League matchup between the Wildcats of Indiana Wesleyan University and your Bethel College Pilots. Fans, today's official game sponsor is McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Let's meet the starting lineups, brought to you by Martin's Supermarkets. Count on Martin's for service and savings. First for the visitors from Indiana Wesleyan. Starting at one guard, a 5'11" junior from Richfield, Ohio, wearing number 13, DJ Bettinger. At a forward, a 6'7" freshman from Rockville, Indiana, number 23, Lane Maheron. At a forward, a 6'5" junior from Warsaw, Indiana, number 32, Zach Vandewater. At another forward for the Wildcats, 6'9" senior from Rockville, Indiana, number 33, RJ Maheron. And at guard, a 6'2" senior from Danville, Indiana, number 44, Jordan Whitener. Head coach of the Wildcats is Greg Tonigal. Fans of all ages, Wiekamp Blackouts, let me hear you. Now's the time to make some noise. Here now is the starting lineup for your Bethel College Pilots. At one guard at 5'10", sophomore from Peru, Indiana, number 5, Travis Smith. At another guard for BC, 6'4" junior from Greens Fork, Indiana, number 20, Matt Schultz. And another guard for your Pilots, 6'1" junior from Connersville, Indiana, number 22, Zach Miller. He's a guard at 6'4", a senior from Mishawaka, Indiana, number 34, Ryan Benner. And the man in the middle for your Pilots, 6'6" senior from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 41, Patrick Edding. Bethel coaches are Tony Natale, Ryan Lightfoot, and head coach of the BC Pilots in his 27th season. A 1970 Bethel graduate is Mike Lightfoot.
Glad you can join us.
Officials, the men in stripes are Mr. Brad Klaus, Mr. Jimmy Jarrett, and Mr. Matthew Hans. Fans for each 3-point match.
All right, glad you can join us. Bethel College decked out in the white shorts, white jerseys, blue numbers trimmed in gray. They'll be moving from left to right on your screen. The Wildcats of Indiana Wesleyan University decked out in the red shorts, the white, gray, and black trim on the side of the shorts. The numbers are white trimmed in gray with Wildcats written in white on the front of the red jerseys. Ready to go. Battling it up, it'll be Lane Maheron jumping it up with Patrick Edding. The ball is controlled by Bethel, and they'll move from left to right on your screen. Thanks for joining us for today's NAI Division II Top 25 Showdown. Pat Edding at the left elbow. Finds Zach Miller on the far wing. Zach comes back to Pat at the top. Looks to the right now. We'll go back door to Miller. Back to Pat on the give and go. Pat to the goal. Shot no good. Rebound tipped up and around. And R.J. Maheron grabs the rebound.
Good job by Pat trying to initiate contact there. Couldn't get the call. It's a nice look, though. Good backdoor cut by Zach Miller because they're going to be denying him at the three-point line.
Bettinger goes to the right side now to Lane Maheron. And finally hands it off now here to Vandewater. Back over here on the near wing. Bettinger lobs it inside now to Maheron. His 14-foot shot is an air ball. And here's Pat Edding with the rebound.
Got to force him off the block, and that's a real good defensive possession there by Benner, and that's not where RJ feels comfortable.
With the basketball here On the far wing now, Travis Smith looking for some help, reverses into the deep far corner now to Schaus. Schaus finds Pat Edding out at the top. Pat looking for some help, wrap around to the low post now to Benner. Benner backing in, double team, finds Smith out here at the top, now to Matt Schaus. Matt on the drive, stops, shovels it inside to Pat. Pat's to the goal, and he's hammered here with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Good possession again by the Pilots.
Yeah, and you can see early on that they're going to double team Benner when he gets the ball at the post, and so quick ball movement there from Benner to Smith to Schaus. I think Matt passed on a shot, but he was able to penetrate and find Pat there. So
there is no 22.
First foul on number 23 there. That's going to be Lane Mahern picking up his first foul.
So to inbound or check that to shoot the free throw will be Patrick Edding. Edding on the season, 71% free throw shooter, averaging 8.6 points per game, 5.3 rebounds, and he knocks it down. And the Pilots lead 1-0. And that first ball game between these two clubs, tell you what, the Pilots found themselves down in a whole 7-0.
Yeah, Iowa jumped out on fire that first game.
And it's a 2-0 BC lead for Pat and company.
Full court man-to-man here by Bethel.
Here's DJ Bettinger over the timeline, goes right side on the wing to Vandewater. Vandewater stops, wrap around to the low post to Mahern. Back on the far wing now to Widener. Widener back inside to Mahern. He does a drop step on Pat. Shot blocked away from behind, but Mahern's back there for the follow. 2-2 ball game as Mahern's picks up where he left off the last time these two teams played. Zach Miller here on the near wing. Goes inside of the low post, and the ball was deflected. And here's a steal for the Wildcats.
Bad possession, bad pass there by Zach.
With the ball here on the near wing, Widener hedges off a screen at the elbow, and the ball is somehow, some way. Boy, I tell you what, Widener did the Cardinal sin, the jump pass.
Yeah, same thing Zach Miller did down here, just got caught and threw the ball.
Widener top of the circle, three-point shot, good. 5-2, 5 unanswered by the Cats.
No communication on defense by the Pilots. There's no excuse for Jordan Widener being that wide open.
Schaus on the far wing driving, shovels it inside now to Pat. And knocked away from behind that time by Jordan Widener. And it'll be BC basketball to the left of the lane.
You can see early on Matt's able to get to the basket and find his teammates. Got to be able to get a clean catch and finish.
Back goes over to the far wing now to Pat Edding. Pat on the dribble. Still on the dribble. Hands that off to Schaus, and Schaus engages on the far wing now. Now he dribbles to the top. Looks. He'll pull up from 19 off the front of the iron. No good. Travis Smith should have been called for a foul. No call.
Yep.
But here come the Wildcats. DJ Bettinger goes into the corner to Widener. Back out to the top to Mahern. And a foul whistled on Pat Edding. Pat just didn't move his feet that time.
Yep. And that's the, you've got to honor the jump shot because the way Mahern shot the first time these two teams met. Nice pump fake, attack the basket.
The ball will be inbounded by the Wildcats underneath their goal to the left of the lane as Widener, the Danville High School product, will to trigger the inbounds.
And if I remember correctly, Paul, that first time.
There's a pass inside now, and Mahern scores on the field goal. 7 unanswered by the Cats. They now lead at 7-2.
Thought the Pilots played a lot of zone the first meeting, and all man-to-man so far.
Ryan Benner fakes the wraparound, goes into the corner now to Travis. Travis backing in. Oh, he had Pat Edding wide open underneath. There's a turnover.
Get Book there.
Here is DJ Bettinger going over here to the right side to Vandewater. Shot on the way, no good. And the Pilots come away with it. Matt Schaus up the far sideline. Taps it over here to the corner and a foul called.
Yeah, got to get Book in there for an offensive threat. Travis is a great defender, but he's just not the offensive threat. And you saw when he put the ball on the floor, he just didn't know where he was going to go, didn't know what he was going to do with it.
And Travis comes out of the ball game here just 2 minutes and 53 seconds into the contest. Laney Booker, the senior from John Adams High School. A couple of his Adams guys are here today. Terry Davis and Michael Bush were in action last night in the game that Coach and I did. Benner, top of the circle now to Book. Book here on the hard dribble through the legs. Hedges off a screen at the top. Now comes back to Pat. Pat's 19-foot shot is off the side of the rim, no good. And the Pilots woeful in the early going.
Yeah, not getting to the basket.
Widener goes left side now here to Vandewater. Now over here to Mahern. Mahern, nice step out that time by Benner to cut off the drive. Widener on the far wing now for the Cats. Will load up the three off the iron long, and Lane Mahern tracks down the rebound. Now over here to the right elbow to Vandewater. Quickly to the near corner now. And Mahern knocks down the triple. 10-2 in favor of the Wildcats. 16:25 to go.
Offensive rebounds leading to second chance points, so we've talked about that, Paul. 7 points now for R.J. Mahern.
With a basketball here on the left block is Schaus. Now to Booker. Booker drives down the right side of the lane. Shot no good. And Once again, Pilots trying to force things. Here is a dunk attempt by Lane Mahern, no good. And finally, Pat Edding knocks it into the hands of Benner.
See if the Pilots can settle something down here and get a good look.
Mike Lightfoot is beside himself. He wants the timeout, 30 seconds. I like the timeout for Mike right here. His club not playing with any type of offensive consistency thus far.
No, not at all. Not on the offensive end. There's nothing fluid. It's just attack the basket and throw something up. Zach Miller was hesitant on his turnover. Travis Smith was hesitant on his turnover. Pat wasn't sure if he should shoot or not. Comes up with an air ball. Pilots need to play with some confidence. They have to remember this is their court and they're a good team. I want to thank our friends at Gates. The Gates Automotive Group has been serving Michiana for over 85 years. The Gates promise of fairness, honesty, and integrity can be seen each day at Gates Downtown, Gates Chevy World Mishawaka, Gates Toyota Scion South Bend, Gates Island Road, and Gates of Granger. For 85 years, Gates dealerships have been providing great growth opportunities for all of its employees. If you're interested in becoming one of our team members, stop by the family-owned and operated business. For more information about the Gates Automotive Group, check out www.gatesautomotive.com.
6'2" freshman Bob Peters from Cuyahoga High School in Ohio has now got the dubious distinction of trying to keep an eye on Zach Miller. Also checking into the ball game will be Tyler Greathouse, the 6'9" junior from Columbus. Here's Zach Miller, a 3-point shot on the way. Good.
There we go. Now got to get a stop here. It's a real good screen. R.J. Mahern showed in the shot, but Zach was able to elevate and get that over him. Nice to see Zach knock down his first shot.
Top of the circle, Widener back here to Mahern. Back to Widener on the right wing. He's double teamed. Wrap around to the right side now to Greathouse. Shot no good. Rebound deflected around. Pat Edding the rebound. Now to Schaus. Schaus streaks up the left sideline. Around the back dribble at the top. He'll drive down the lane. Running one-hander. No good. Pat Edding tries to hustle down the rebound. 3-on-2 break if they hurry. Here's the ball on the right side. Peters couldn't get it to go, and here come the Pilots. Zach Miller on the breakout here. Over the timeline now into the forecourt. Puts on the brakes here, right wing. Zach out here still, one-on-one. 3-point shot on the way. Good again. Just like that 10-2 lead is evaporated on a pair of Zach Miller bombs.
Yeah, and Peters thought the screen was coming, so Peters cheated in the middle, which gave Zach a good look at the basket. Real good read by Zach Miller.
With the basketball here near side now will be R.J. Mahern. His 3-point shot goes off the iron. Pat Edding the rebound over to Booker. Landon streaks up the left sideline. Puts on the brakes. He goes out to Schaus. Maddie at the top of the circle now. Backs it out of harm's way, and they'll reset the offense out here right in front of our vantage point. Here's Matt Schaus with the drive down the lane. He passes it over here to Benner, and he scores. Tie ball game, 10-10.
Yeah, Matt looking to draw contact. Refs didn't bail him out. Benner was right there. Matt actually drew 3 players in the defensive end, but that's all right. Pilots offensive rebound. Good job by Benner to put it back in.
Pilots in the midst of an 8-0 run. Top of the ring now here. Here's Jordan Widener looking. Left elbow pass now here to R.J. Mahern. Back to Widener. A little 2-man game. Oh, a big mismatch inside, and Pat Edding really quickly hustles back to create that situation. The 3-point bomb in the far wing now good by Tyler Greathouse. That's his 8th of the season. Cats in that 8-0 Bethel run, and they now lead 13-10. Here's Miller, 3-point shot from the near rim. God! And Zach says, no problem, I'll come back and knock it down. Zach Miller with his 3rd of the season. He now has 82 on the season.
And here's the difference. When Greathouse hit his, he kind of clapped like, all right, I got one. Zach Miller just stop and pop. That's what he expects to happen. He'll let Greathouse shoot again if he wants.
Here's Greathouse, someone to the right corner now here to Vandewater. Shot no good, ball tipped up and around, and Zach Miller with the rebound. Zach pushing the ball up the near sideline. Now goes to Matt Schaus. Matt at the top of the ring. Drives down the lane and shot in no good. Rebound tipped up and around, and finally R.J. Mahern comes away with the pumpkin.
That's a great drive by Matt, just not able to finish. Good tip by Pat, but good offensive set there.
Bob Peters, the freshman, over the timeline now, one-on-one with Miller. On the hard dribble, goes right side now to Widener. Widener looking for some help, comes back out to the top now here to Vandewater. Vandewater looks, comes over here on the near wing to Greathouse.
Got Benner on Mahern down low.
With the basketball right side now, it's Peters. 7 on the shot clock. Jump shot good from the top of the ring now by Zach Vandewater. That's his 26th of the season.
Blood on Matt Schaus.
And we're going to have the media timeout, I think, forthcoming. Yes, we will. Wildcats lead at 16-13 as they've been able to knock down 4 3-point baskets here in the early going.
Again, I want to thank our friends over there at Gates. Check out the new Gates of Granger on State Road 23 in Granger. The Gates of Granger is a full-service shop for all brands and models. With their state-of-the-art base paint and body shop, you can't go wrong when it's time for your detailing work. At the Gates of Granger, you can also see and buy the top 10 models of pre-owned cars, pickups, SUVs, and vans. Gates Automotive Group celebrating 85 years of integrity.
In the early going, Matt Copsey, the numbers have been very interesting to keep up with.
Yeah, both 4 3-pointers, as you mentioned, for Indiana Wesleyan. Zach Miller's 3 for 3 from the field for 9 points. Mahern's got 7 to lead the way. R.J. Mahern, that is, to lead the way for the Wildcats.
The Bethel Lady Pilots, a tough luck loser today on the road. They had the ball and you had a chance to watch the video, and they were not granted a timeout when they had the ball with the lead.
Yeah, Pilots up 62-60 going the length of the court with 56 seconds to go. Ashley Lutz on camera was calling for timeout. The official blew the whistle and called for a 5-second violation. Iowa inbounded, hit a 3, went on to outscore the Pilots 9-2 in the final 56 seconds.
12:48 to go in this one here now, as the Wildcats will have on the floor out of the timeout. They'll have DJ Bettinger. Also on the floor will be Tyler Greathouse. Lane Mahern's also on the floor. In addition to that, they'll also have Zach Vandewater. A small lineup on the floor for the Cats right now, comparatively speaking. Here's Benner with the ball. The Pilots have Benner along with Booker, Mislin, Gerber, and Miller.
See if Mislin can build off that performance last game where he played real well.
Top of the ring now, Landon Booker. On the crossover, dribble goes to the left side, now to Benner. Benner will load up the triple, shot in and out, no good. A rebound ripped out of there nicely that time by Zach Vandewater. He's over to the timeline now. Here's Bettinger on the right wing. Goes on the right side now to Lane Mahern. Mahern with a drive, all tipped out here to the top now to Vandewater. He'll load up the triple and knock it down. Back-to-back threes for him now, and it's a 19-13 ball game.
Vandewater with 27 threes on the year, 6 points now. He hit some big threes in that first matchup between these two teams.
Booker wrap around to the low post now to Brandon Gerber. Gerber on the back end, drives, shovels it inside, and he's hammered. As Brandon doing a nice job of taking it to the rack.
It's going to be 2 on Lane Mahern, I believe.
11:53 to go here in this first half of play. The Wildcats with 6 unanswered since it became a tie ball game. Got some scores, Coach?
Women's scores. As we said, Iowa defeats Bethel 69-60. Spring Arbor 91-83 winners over Goshen. Huntington 74-65 over Marion. And Grace hangs on to beat Taylor 73-72 as J.J. Jackson becomes Grace's all-time leading scorer.
Brandon Gerber missed the first free throw. Gerber 74% on the season, 4 rebounds, 3 points per game. Also averages 1.5 assists per contest. And his second free throw goes in and out, no good. So a pair going awry for Brandon Gerber. Back over here come the Wildcats. And here's Gerber with a steal. Nice play by Brandon. Here is Landon Booker with a drive down the left side of the lane. Kick out here to the far side, and Michael Mislin saves the day.
Also by Miz there. Book got caught in the air. Miz got a mismatch down there against Peters. You got to get him the ball.
Here's the ball top of the ring now. Here Gerber shovels it over here to Booker on the right wing. Book on the drive, pull up 12-footer in the lane, good. Landon Booker ends that 6-0 run by the Wildcats. It's now 19-15.
R.J. Mahern matched up against Book, and that's just a poor matchup. There's nothing he can really do about that.
Bettinger goes over here to the right side now to Peters. Right wing now, Bettinger. Step out there by Benner, wrap around to the low post now here to Greathouse. The play inside, no good. Rebound, Michael Mislin.
Good job by Mislin to crash.
There's Miller out here at the top of the ring now.
Got to set a screen for Miller.
Over here to Landon Booker. Booker looking, goes into the low post to Miz. Miz fakes, cross courts it now here to the top, now to Book. Now to the left elbow to Gerber, back to Booker. Booker on this, he lost the handle on it, and once again, Ryan Benner winning a loose ball scenario. Here's Benner on the drive, inside for the goal. 19-17, back-to-back field goals by the Pilots.
4 points for Benner. Right now the Pilots are just out hustling Indiana Wesleyan. Mahern sucking dirty pond water, steal your Paul Condry phrase there, coming up the floor.
Over here on the near sideline, now here is Vandewater. Back out here on the right side, now to Mahern. Mahern's three-point shot is no good.
He's got no legs.
Mislin with another rebound, however.
Got Benner on the wing there.
Here's Miller with the ball at the top of the ring, goes now to Miz. Miz looking for some help, goes over to Benner. Benner's going to try to back out. Great backdoor pass to Gerber. Timeout Wesleyan as the Pilots tie it up 19-19. What a pass. And Gerber, great movement off the ball.
Absolutely, and that's seniors making eye contact, knowing what's going to happen. That's just a great cut, great find. I will just, hard to believe 20-some games into the season here that their conditioning looks terrible. They're out of gas out there.
19-19 ball game. 10:04 to go here in this first half of play as Indiana Wesleyan takes its first allotted timeout of the afternoon.
The Gates promise of fairness, honesty, and integrity can be seen in action each day by the Gates family with their involvement in the local community. The Gates family has been actively involved with many of our local churches, colleges, and universities. Gates Automotive Group is family-owned and operated, has been serving Mishawaka for over 85 years. Paul, been a game of runs. You got the running total there, but Was it 8-0 run for Iowa early in the game, and then the Pilots came right back, right?
With an 8-0 run.
Okay. It was a 10-0 run.
And then the Wildcats with a 6-0 run, and the Pilots just answered it with a 6-0 run. And as you'd expect, Widener was on the bench, I might add, for that last Bethel run, so they took advantage of the stellar senior being on the floor. And he's back onto the floor now. Also, Nathan Bubash, a 6'6 freshman from Munster High School, played for Mike Hackett up there in the region.
Surprised Mahern's still in the game for as tired as he looked.
Mahern with a spin, off-balance shot, no good, and they're going to call a foul on the Pilots.
And I thought Gerber did a nice job of keeping his hands up. Credit Mahern for drawing contact.
And going to the line will be the big man from Indiana Wesleyan, R.J. Mahern, who did his prep work at Rockville High School. 17 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block shot per ball game. And he knocks down the free throw to give the Cats the lead back at 20-19 here at the 9:47 mark of the first half.
Instant offense. Caleb Ochin checked in at that last media timeout as well, so see if Caleb can get going for the Pilots.
Mahern's second free throw, no good. Michael Mislett, his third rebound of the half.
Good job by Mislin.
Here's Schaus over the timeline now. Hands it off now to Zach Miller. Miller on the dribble, looking for some help. Cross court sitting out to Caleb Ochin. The Indianapolis native looking for some help. Hedges over here on the right side, stops. Cross court sitting out to Brandon Gerber. Gerber on the drive, spins, looks, goes into the right corner now to Ochin. Ochin back here to Miz on the right elbow. Now goes into the far corner now to Gerber. Gerber looking for a cutter. He'll take it inside. He spins, shoots, no good. Rebound deflected out here to Widener of Indiana Wesleyan.
And that's terrible that Mahern just drew contact.
Here's Mahern with a drive down the lane with a running 14-footer, and he knocked it down to give the Cats a 22-19 lead.
10 for RJ. And RJ just drew contact last possession for Iowa, and Gerber gets hammered to the floor with nothing.
Here's Matt Schaus in the deep left corner now. Goes over here to Zach Miller on the right side. Now he goes inside to Miz. Miz is fouled inside by Mahern.
And that was a late whistle. He was laying on top of him before the whistle even blew.
And that'll be his first infraction of the ball game, and the fourth on the team.
And maybe benefit Pilots there that they called it on the ground, because Michael Mislin has struggled from the foul line this year, and so the Pilots get inbound, try and run one of their better plays here.
Schaus to trigger the inbounds to the right of the lane, goes to Miz. Michael on the spin against Mahern. Stops, still shoots, shot deflected and went off Miz as Mahern swatted it back in his kisser.
Yeah, and again, I don't think it's a bad play, and coach is looking for contact. He's saying that's the same hand check, same body that you get called on the other end against Gerber. And Matt Schaus not taking an outside jump shot yet that I can recall.
Lane Mahern comes into the ball game now for the Cats.
Lane Mahern with 2 fouls.
And from right to left, DJ Benninger will walk it up against Ochin across the timeline now as Pat Enningus getting ready to check back in for BC along with Ryan Benner. Ball on the right wing now, Vandewater, who's had a pair of 3-point shots already here in the ballgame. Benninger will load up the triple from the near side. No good. A rebound. Michael Mislin. And had it, we're going to call it jump ball. And it'll be alternating possession. Wildcats. Miz did not have his hands up in a rebounding position. He had him down by his waist.
Yep. Yeah, and he was doing what a lot of guys do. Instead of boxing out, they try and hook the guy. And so he had his hands down to try and hook the defender. The defender was able to grab the ball.
Cats to inbound the ball to the right of the lane now. Widener goes into the far corner now to Bubash. Back over here to the deep right corner now is Vandewater. Vandewater on the far wing now. Goes to Lane Mahern. Mahern stops at the free throw line, swings it left side now to Bubash. Bubash back out here on the near side wing to Vandewater. Vandewater on the step out. Lobs it inside now to Lane Mahern. Mahern lost the handle on it out of bounds. Good help side defense by Brandon Gerber.
Yeah, it's a real good defense possession. You see, Iowa struggling when RJ's not on the floor. Widener not really taking control for him, and so
Widener to inbound the basketball, comes out high now here to Bubash. Bubash at the right elbow, goes now to Lane Mahern. His 19-foot shot is off the rim, no good. Brandon Gerber the rebound for Bethel College.
No communication again though, because there was nobody within 10 feet of Lane on that shot.
Schaus goes into the corner now here to Ochin. Ochin waiting for someone to spin around.
Got to get the ball to Pat against Lane Mahern here, or Benner against Bettinger.
Here's Gerber going over here now to Ryan Benner. Benner backing in. Stops, fade away, 12-footer in the lane, no good. Pat ending the rebound. Pat hustles out, comes back out to Matt Schaus, now to Brandon Gerber. Gerber powers to the goal, reverse layup is good. Well, I tell you what, he has improved dramatically.
Absolutely, and that's a great decision by Pat to kick out, and a better decision by Schaus to find Gerber on the baseline.
Here's Widener with a drive inside in. What'd they call there?
They called body. Widener slips, and they called. That's going to be 2 on Pat Edding. Gerber, 2 on Gerber.
And media timeout forthcoming. 7 minutes, 21 seconds to go. First half, Indiana Wesleyan 22, Bethel 21. We'll be right back after this on Regional Radio Sports.
Hi again, it's me, Sarah. I just got a text from TCU that means my first paycheck got deposited. I can't wait to treat myself. Of course, Mom and Dad want me to save, and thanks to TCU Everyday Savings, I can't. Every time I use my TCU Debit MasterCard, TCU rounds my purchase up to the next dollar and moves the change to my savings. So I can spend a little and still save. Visit TCUnet.com to start owning your financial future. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know that the Gates Automotive Group is the #1 seller of pre-owned vehicles in Michiana? Gates sells more, which means Gates can give you more for your trade-in. Stop by any of our locations. Gates downtown, Gates Chevy World Mishawaka, Gates Toyota Scion South Bend, Gates Island Road, and Gates of Granger. The Gates Automotive Group, serving Michiana for over 85 years.
Game reset here at the 7:21 mark of the first half. Wildcats lead the Pilots 22-21. 4 fouls have been whistled on the visitors from Marion, Indiana, 3 from the home team in Mishawaka. And the alternating possession arrow is in favor of the Bethel College Pilots.
And the stats are pretty even too. Both teams have 14 rebounds. IU 8 for 21 from the field. Bethel 8 for 20.
One turnover each.
Kylan Doubles is in the ball game now for the Wildcats. He goes right side now to Widener. Widener one-on-one with Schaus on the far wing. Widener stops, comes back out to the top now to Vandewater. Back over here on the near side now to Doubles. Doubles hands it off now here to Peters. Peters drives on the right side of the lane. No good. Matt Schaus the rebound. And then he was fouled from behind, and there's no call.
I understand from officials it's tough because you could call a foul on every possession if you wanted to. But you just ask for consistency. Mislin gets banged and banged and banged, gets nothing down there, and then Widener slips, and they call a little contact there. Peters takes a whack at him.
Here's Caleb Ochin with the ball on the near wing now, looking for some help. Hedges off a screen, goes back door to Pat, and Pat is there for the two-hand flush. Pilots lead at 23-22 off the monster dunk by P.O.
It's a great find by Caleb Ochin, and that's a way to get off the floor there by Big P.O.
With the basketball on the far side now, Jordan Widener goes on the right wing now, drives inside the lane. He traveled, no call. Comes back out to the top now here to Doubles. Doubles drives down the lane, shot no good. Pat with the rebound, and then that was knocked out of his hands, out of bounds.
Paul, early on we've seen Indiana Wesleyan struggling with the screen roll, and we've seen it a couple times now. Zach Miller was able to pull the 3, able to get P.O. there on that last one with Caleb, and so the Pilots need to keep running this high ball screen, move the ball, attack the basket.
Matt with the basketball over here on the right side now here to Ochin. Ochin at the top will load up the three-point shot, knock it down.
All day.
Pilots lead at 26-22, their biggest lead of the ball game. And here at the 6:11 mark, Greg Tonigal not happy with his club at all as he takes the timeout right here, right now.
And again, screen roll. Better sets the screen. There's no communication. I thought Caleb Ochin struggled at IU early in the year. It was his first conference game, and things just went real fast for him. He only played about 12 minutes, missed all of his shots on the field. And so it's nice to see him come out and knock that one down.
Bethel's biggest lead in the first ball game was at the 8:27 mark. They were ahead by 3. Wesleyan, biggest lead in that first game was 11 as the Wildcats were able to secure an 88-82 win. Wildcats have won 4 consecutive games in this series, and they have won 8 of the last 10. However, Bethel has dominated the overall series significantly. As the Wildcats to move from right to left on your screen. Thanks for joining us here, Coach Mark Gardner, along with Pat Doherty, Tanya County with all the details. Here's Widener. Also, Matt Copsey with us as Widener knocks down the jump shot. It's now 26-24.
That's a good job by Benner to show on that screen roll. Just a nice shot by Jordan Widener. Hats off.
Here's a pass down a high post now, Pat Edding. Pat looking for some help. Looking, lobs it inside of the low post now to Matt. Matt on the drive. He's fouled inside. and I really believe they were going to call it the other way.
Yeah, they didn't call the first foul where Matt lowered his shoulder. And then he just tripped over Peters. That's a tough luck foul. They're saying that Peters tripped him, but Matt's going to go to the line shooting too.
So Schaus on the season. The Centerville standout, 6'4 junior, 77% at the line. Averages 5.5 assists per ball game to go with his 5.5 rebounds. Number 20 knocks it down to give the Pilots a 3-point advantage. Matt's been pretty quiet in regards to the point distribution here early, Matt Copsey.
1 point. And I think, Paul, if we go back to that first game, he was real quiet in the first half, and then he came out and was on fire. He was in foul trouble. He had 2 charges in that first half of the first game. Came out and had about 20 points in the second half.
Matt knocks down the second one, and the Pilots improve their advantage to 28-24. And with the ball, here's Widener over the timeline now against Landon Booker, a pair of seniors meeting here at Bethel College. There's the ball on the right side now. Bob Peters back out to Widener.
Booker. Good switch by Pat.
Back out here on the near wing now. Vandewater goes inside to the low post, and a drive down the lane by Bob Peters results in a field goal, 28-26 now. And here's the ball knocked out of bounds by Kylan Doubles, the 5'10 sophomore who did his prep work in Kokomo at Northwestern High School.
And did Doubles play that first game, Paul? I don't remember him being in the game that first time.
Here's Landon Booker with the ball on the right wing now, looking for some help. Goes to Ochin at the top. Caleb drives, lost the handle on it, comes back out here to Ryan Benner. Benner will load up the triple, shot off the rim to go, Edding the rebound and had it stolen away from behind.
Good hand by Peters.
Done by Peters. Here's Widener with the drive, tipped out by Matt Schaus, the steal. Here come the Pilots in transition. Here's Benner on the right wing. The Mishawaka product goes inside now to Pat Edding, and Pat lost the handle on it.
And Pat was there. Ryan just got to let Pat get his feet set. And no, Doubles did not play in that first matchup between these two teams, so getting some early minutes here tonight.
So from right to left come the Wildcats of Indiana Wesleyan University. Bob Peters hands it off now here to Doubles, and Doubles will walk it up over the timeline against Miller. Doubles on the left-hand dribble, goes to the right wing, now to Widener. Widener goes inside of the low post to R.J. Mahern. He fakes, he's backing in on Schaus. Right-handed hook left short, Matt Schaus the rebound, and Matt will push it up the floor. This is going to be and Matt throws it away. Back-to-back turnovers by the Pilots.
And he wants Booker to go to the basket, but Booker, it was a 2-on-4 break. There's no reason to rush that to the basket. Poor decision by Matt.
With the basketball to move from right to left will be Doubles. The 5'10 sophomores over the timeline. Angle on the dribble to the right side, goes into the corner now to Widener, back out to the top. They'll swing it all the way here into the near corner to Doubles. Back out to the point now to Widener. Widener back to Doubles on the near wing. Doubles drives around the lane, kick out. Nice ball movement by the Wildcats on the perimeter now. Widener gonna shoot over the screen. 3-point shot is good. 29-28 Cats in front now.
And we saw that earlier with Peters being so worried about the screen. He let Zach Miller line up and drop one down. Same thing right there by Widener. Zach was looking for the screen. Jordan just elevated over him.
Widener scored the last 5 Indiana Wesleyan points. Here's Benner backing in. Backdoor pass to Booker, and Booker lays it up and in. Pilots back in front now, 30-29 as Book scores here with 3:40 to go in the half.
And Benner's got to be a passer from the post because they're looking to double him. That's a great cut by Booker.
Here's R.J. Mahern at the top, goes right side now to Peters. Peters goes into the far corners to Widener. Back out to the point now to Vandewater. Vandewater jump pass into the corner. Boy, good ball movement by the Wildcats on the perimeter now. Really making the Pilots work. Ball here on the near side. Vandewater spinning in, fakes, shoots, leans on Miller and scores. Wildcats in the seesaw affair jump back in front 31-30 at 3:09 to go in the half.
8 points for Vandewater. That's a good move. Nice job of keeping his composure down, though, not panicking in the lane.
Booker on the drive baseline, comes back out here to Pat Edding, left elbow. Now Pat hands it over here to Schaus, man on the dribble, looking, goes into the corner now. Here to Book. Booker on the drive, bank shot the right side, tipped up and in by Pat Edding. 32-31 as Pat continues to clean the glass.
It's a great find by Schaus going baseline to Booker, good drive, and Mahern throw the elbow at Pat Edding.
Drop down and block him out on that drive there. That's you.
And
Pat's going to get...
Coach, I did not see the play, so you're going to have to walk me through it.
It looked to me, I saw Mahern's arm going up and Pat going down. I didn't see what precipitated it, but I know that Pat ended up on the floor and drew a blocking foul.
2:40 to go in the half. Pat picks up a second infraction. Wholesale substitutions for Bethel. It'll be Ochin, Benner, Miller, Mislin on the floor for the Pilots, and also Brandon Gerber checks back in. There's your new lineup with 2:40 to go in the half. The Pilots a 1-point advantage. Lane Mahern goes into the corner to the big brother. Big brother shoots the 3, and that's his second air ball of the afternoon. And Gerber hustles down the rebound. Wet spot on the floor over there needs to get cleaned up.
And today's one of those days where you let RJ shoot all day.
Ochin with the basketball, hedges off a screen. Ochin on the drive, pull up 12-footer, shot no good, tipped up, and corralled by R.J. Mahern.
Get inside, RJ.
Over here to Lane Mahern. Lane on the drive baseline, cut up by Benner. Back out here to Widener on the near wing. Widener one-on-one against Gerber. Goes into the corner to Lane Mahern. Oh, he double dribbled.
I think Benner might have gotten a tip on that, but certainly looked like it could have been a double dribble.
Widener with 17 seconds on the shot clock. 2 minutes on the first half. Lane clock will load up a triple and knock it down. 34-32 Wildcats as Widener has stepped up in the last 6 minutes.
Freshman mistake there. Come on, Caleb. Mislin running the floor, and Caleb just threw it in the first row there. I believe that's 12 points for Widener, 11 points for Widener.
And eight points in the last 2 minutes for Widener as he's taken over the ball game now.
Yeah, and when they struggled earlier, I said it just seemed like he was being a little passive, and now he's doing what we expected him to do.
With the ball here now is Bob Peters, the freshman from Cuyahoga, Ohio. Out here to the top now. Still on the dribble, goes left side now to Widener. Widener will load up the triple off the rim, no good. Rebound, Brandon Gerber for Bethel.
Pilots got lucky there. There's no communication. Widener was wide open. Can't have that.
Ochin with the ball here at the top now, looking for some help.
Get it to him.
High post pass now to Mislin. Hands it back out here to Caleb. Caleb on the dribble. Reverses it back to Benner. Benner back to Ochin. Lobs it inside now here to Brandon Gerber. Gerber to the goal, and he scores. Nice pass by Ochin to set the stage. We're tied at Walter Payton's 34-all.
6 for Gerber. Great recognition by Gerber and Ochin to take advantage of the mismatch down low.
Or the rapid improvement, Brandon Gerber has given the Pilots a whole nother dimension as Lane Mahern scores down low to give the Cats the 36-34 lead. Here's Ryan Benner with a drive down the lane, and he is fouled.
It's going to be 3 fouls on Lane Mahern. That's a big call right there. Good drive by Ryan Benner, recognizing they had R.J. Mahern trying to defend him out that three-point line.
Ryan Benner, a 71% free throw shooter, 6'3", 197 from Mishawaka High School. We had a chance to visit with him. You and I had a chance on 95.7 The Fan locally here on radio to do the John Adams game against the Mishawaka Cavemen. A great effort by Mishawaka last night in that game. As a matter of fact, Ryan Watson, the coach of the Mishawaka Cavemen here over there with one of the all-time Bethel greats, if not one of the greatest distributors of the basketball over there.
Jerome Caldroni. Yeah, Ryan said he was going to bring his team here. Benner hit the first one there. Ryan was going to bring the entire team today, but it's the winter formal over at Mishawaka, so plans on bringing the Cavemen over to the Grace game.
So one more for Benner with an opportunity to tie up the contest at 36-all. Benner with the slow dribble. The shot is good again. 36-36 ball game here with 53.5 to go in this first half of play. Lady Pilots a tough luck loser to the Indiana Wesleyan today at the Lucky Arena, 69-64. Three-point shot in the right corner, no good that time by Bettinger, but the rebound comes out long. Mahern kept it alive.
Travis Smith on Mahern. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Ryan Wasink is in the ball game now, and he's on Mahern. Out here to the top now, here's Vandewater. Back here on the near side to Peters. Ball's deflected by Zach Miller. Miller with the steal. On the drive, the shot, and the score. Pilots lead at 38-36. Zach Miller can do it on both ends of the floor.
That's 11 for Zach. Great job of reading the passing lane, attacking the basket. Big possession here for the Pilots.
Widener with the ball one-on-one with Travis Smith. Out here on the perimeter now. Still on the dribble, setting up a high side screen now with Mahern. Widener goes into the far corner. Widener with 2 seconds to go. Widener pull up 19-footer, no good. The Pilots will go to the locker room with a 38-36 halftime advantage. What an entertaining first half here as we hit the second season of Crossroads League men's basketball. Bethel leads Indiana Wesleyan 38-36 at the break. We'll be back with our halftime interview on our stats. Joining us at halftime will be Zach Miller, a junior guard, and we'll hear from him momentarily. Once again, Pilots by 2 at the break on Regional Radio Sports.
They were outnumbered, out-equipped. They had no chance of winning, but they had one huge advantage: General George Washington.
The fate of unborn millions will now depend, under God, on the courage and conduct of this army. We have to resolve to conquer or die.
Just as the leadership of one man helped form a nation, today leadership can transform the world. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com.
They came from every corner of the country, from small towns and big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines, a tough and determined few dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still, celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
The Gates promise of fairness, honesty, and integrity can be seen in action each day by the Gates family with their involvement in the local community. The Gates family has been actively involved with many of our local churches, colleges, and university. The Gates Automotive Group, family-owned and operated, serving Michiana for 85 years. College basketball here today. It's halftime. Indiana Wesleyan taking on the Bethel College Pilots. We're visiting with Zach Miller here today at halftime. Zach, first of all, let's just kind of get what we can talk about here today on how you're feeling. It's kind of just the reaction to the bump on the noggin, if you will. My son, having gone through this, I'm kind of familiar with some of the stuff that your body kind of goes through, but just share how you're doing.
And yeah, it's taken a little longer than I would like to get back completely. I had to miss a couple days of class, a couple games, and I'm still having some issues with reading, homework, but I'm definitely getting back to where I was. Last game, I didn't run into too many issues. Just the music now is about the only thing that really gets me.
So the music that we're listening to now here in the pregame show, does that kind of just wig you out a little bit?
Yeah, it did the last few games, but last game we played, they actually turned it down for me, which is really nice, and it didn't bother me throughout the game, so that was good.
Okay, let's turn our attention back, turn the clock back, if you will, to the game against Taylor and Coach winning his 700th game. I've been here for about half those games, and it's amazing to me what he's been able to accomplish. There's been some great players like yourself and some kids who really have gone above and beyond the call of duty to be successful in the program. You're one of them. So share what you thought when you saw Coach get all the attention rightly deserved.
Oh, yeah, like you said, it was well-deserved. He's put in, so much time into the program. He'll be here late at night. He'll talk about not even being able to sleep before a game because he's thinking so much about it. He just does such a good job of getting the most out of his players every single day. He pushes you to get better, which is just a great thing.
When you look at where you're at right now in the development of your career, did you ever dream that you'd be where you're at right now, one of the top shooters in America, get all the attention that you're getting? You're getting more double teams than a lot of Bethel players have ever gotten during the time I've been doing games.
Yeah, I wasn't really highly recruited coming out of high school. I had no idea, this is how it'd be, but it's just been awesome. I've had some great teammates around me, and, like we talked about, Coach Lightfoot just does an awesome job of making his players better.
All right, turn our attention to Indiana Wesleyan here today. They're a team that likes to push the ball, but they can also get back in that half-court stuff, and they defend as well as anybody.
Yeah, they're a great team. Every year we play them, it's a close game. The last few games we played them, we've lost by, 1 or 2 possessions, so we really need this win to get back up towards the top of conference, so we'll see what happens.
Give us an idea now, finally, as we wrap it up, what you like about the 2013-14 Bethel basketball team versus some of the teams in the 2 previous years.
We have a lot of scoring threats, which is awesome. You never know. Benner might come out and drop 20. Matt, he's had some 20-point games. We just have a lot of depth. And then we bring some great players off the bench, and Gerber and Caleb Ochin. I just really think we have a fun team to play with.
What do you have to do to beat Iowa today?
It's going to come down to rebounding, I believe. We're going to be switching screens, so hopefully we can box out and not give up too many offensive boards.
We hope your health continues to improve. Best of luck, and thanks for all you're doing.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
Once again, Zach Miller joining us at halftime. We'll be back with BC Hoops right after this on Regional Radio Sports. And it's ironic that he would talk about rebounds because the Pilots won the rebound war in the first half, a +5. Let's take a look at our first half scores before we go over to Matt Copsey with all the details. First of all, in women's action in the Crossroads League, Indiana Wesleyan upended Bethel today 69-64. The Lady Pilots were outscored 9-2 in the last 56 seconds of the ball game. Spring Arbor defeated Goshen today 91-83. Huntington upended Marion today 74-65, and Grace defeated Taylor 73-72 as Janice Jackson became Grace's all-time leading scorer. Now for the men's halftime score, Spring Arbor on top of Goshen 35-26, and Marion out in front of Huntington 34-23 at the intermission. Grace on top, Taylor on top of Grace 38-26. No score on St. Francis in Mount Vernon. I believe that game has been moved back to a 4 o'clock start. That's the reason we don't have a score there. We're going to take a quick timeout, come back. Matt's got all the stats. Once again, our score here at the break. Pilots lead the Wildcats by 2, 38-36. This is Bethel Basketball on Regional Radio Sports.
They came from every corner of the country, from small towns and big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines, a tough and determined few dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still, they come. Celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine. They came from every corner of the country, from small towns and big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines, a tough and determined few dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still, they come. Celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
Early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise.
And all was Benjamin Franklin wise. So you actually think electricity can pass through metal? Ha! Ben Franklin, go fly a kite.
Excellent idea. Where are my keys?
Besides the bifocals, Ben invented the Franklin stove, the odometer, oh, and the lightning rod. Ingenuity, pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Welcome back here on Regional Radio Sports. Paul Condry along with the coach, Mark Gardner. He was in the locker room. He'll get some details on that in a minute. But let's go over to the incomparable Matt Copsey, who's got our first half numbers. Matthew?
For Indiana Wesleyan, DJ Bettinger, 0 of 2 from the field, no points. Lane Maheron, 1 of 4 from the field, 2 points. Zach Vanderwater, 3 of 5 from the field, 8 points. RJ Maheron, 4 of 10 from the field, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 10 points. Jordan Widener, 4 of 7 from the field, 11 points. Kalen Dubles, 0 of 1 from the field, no points. Tyler Greathouse, 1 of 3 from the field for 3 points. Nathan Bubash played but did not score. And Bob Peters, 1 of 3 from the field for 2 points. Wesleyan was 14 of 35 in the first half for 40%. 7 out of 15 from three-point range for 47%. 1 out of 2 from the free throw line for 50%. For the Pilots, Travis Smith played but did not score. Matt Schaus, 0 of 4 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 2 points. Zach Miller, 4 of 4 from the field, 11 points. Ryan Benner, 2 of 5 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 6 points. Pat Edding, 2 of 5 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 6 points. Caleb Ochin, 1 of 2 from the field, 3 points. Landon Booker, 2 of 4 from the field, 4 points. Brandon Gerber, 3 of 4 from the field, 0 of 2 from the free throw line, 6 points. Michael Mislin, 0 of 1 from the field, and Ryan Wassing played but did not score. Bethel was 14 out of 29 from the field for 48%, 4 out of 6 from three-point range for 67%, 6 out of 8 from the free throw line, 75%. Pilots won the battle of the boards, 21-16. 7 boards for Edding to lead Bethel, 7 boards for R.J. Maheron to lead Indiana Wesleyan. 8 assists for Wesleyan, Vanderwater with 3, 2 for Jordan Widener, Bethel with 6, 2 each for Ochin and Ryan Benner. 3 turnovers for Indiana Wesleyan, 6 for Bethel. 1 block shot in the game for each team. R.J. Maheron for Indiana Wesleyan and Patrick Edding for Bethel. 3 steals for Wesleyan. DJ Bettinger, Vanderwater and Bob Peters for Bethel. They also had 3, Miller, Benner, and Brandon Gerber.
All right, we'll come back with more right after this. Coach Gardner has the preview of coming attractions in his life right in front of us with the little girls out here doing the tumbling exercises. We'll be back with more. Pilots lead it 38-36 here at the break. We'll be right back after this on Regional Radio Sports.
Hi again, it's me, Sarah. I just got a text from TCU that means my first paycheck got deposited. I can't wait to treat myself. Of course, Mom and Dad want me to save, and thanks to TCU Everyday Savings, I can. Every time I use my TCU Debit MasterCard, TCU rounds my purchase up to the next dollar and moves the change to my savings. So I can spend a little and still save. Visit TCUnet.com to start owning your financial future. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Back live here to the Gage Gymnasium. Very entertaining halftime program by the little gals doing all the tumbling exercises. Coach, you could be there as a dad here in the not too distant future. You and Mrs. Gardner, and I'm sure Robin would love to see that.
Yeah, I will
How about
say
that, huh?
if my child's one of those ones on the pyramid and they throw her up and catch her like they just did, I'd ask that they catch her on the mat, not on the actual court, though. They didn't utilize the mats there for the catch.
All right, you were in the locker room with the Bethel Pilots.
Yeah.
Talk about the dynamics going on inside the hallowed halls of the Gates Gymnasium.
They were real happy with the effort in the first half. They felt that they were in better condition than Iowa. They saw the same thing we did. The Iowa guys were tired. They're going to emphasize really stepping out on Jordan Widener on the screen roll, and then looking for backdoor cuts because of the fact that the Pilots are getting out in the passing lane. They expect Iowa to make an adjustment, do some more backdoor cuts, but they fully expect Widener to come off ball screens every possession if possible. On the offensive end, or the other thing I think you'll see, Brandon Gerber, we talked, first meeting between these two teams, Gerber played 6 minutes. He was out there for 7 minutes in the first half, and I think you'll see Gerber getting a lot of minutes here in the second half as well, just because he can defend Widener better than anybody else on the team. So on the offensive end, you're going to see the Pilots run a lot more screen roll, really looking to attack the basket, and emphasize the fact that Maheron likes to help over on the drive, and so if you're not handling the ball, attacking the basket, you need to crash the boards or cut to the basket looking for that pass.
All right, when I looked at the stats, the things that jumped out at my mind, the Pilots, a +5 in the rebound department. They'll take that any day of the week. Iowa with only 3 turnovers, but the Pilots have nothing to sneeze about. They had 6, and they'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah.
Zach Miller, a 4 for 4 from the field, including 3 for 3 from downtown. And Matt Schaus at 0 for 4. And also on the other side of it, the two big guns, R.J. Maheron, 7 rebounds and 10 points, and also Jordan Widener with 11. Those are the things that popped out of my mind that are important in this first 20.
Yeah, and I thought, and you guys might be able to correct me, I thought R.J. Maheron had like 7 of the first 10 points of the game for Iowa. And so for him to only finish the half with 10 points, he ran out of gas, and the Pilots did a good job of adjusting. He settled for jump shots, took a lot of jump shots. In the first game, I think he was 12 for 18 from the field, and today he's already missed 6 shots in the first half alone.
But I think the key thing is, and you talked right about that, you look at him in that first ball game, he was 12 for 18 from the field, including 7 for 10 from downtown. And you're right, he did. He scored the first field goal of the ball game, scored the third field goal of the ball game, the 4th field goal of the ball game, and you're right. He got off to a good start, and his last field goal actually was at the 9:03 mark of the first half. So if you look at the point that they kept him off the score sheet from then on in, but it's been Jordan Widener. And I said Jordan Widener's the scrappiest, orneriest cuss, and I say that in such a really positive way because he is this year's version in the Crossroads League of the way Ryan Lightfoot used to play. So I say that with great respect in saying so. And if he decides he's going to take over the ball game, he can do that.
Yeah, and I don't know when you have where his first bucket was, but he had an early
the first
one.
3, and then he went. He went quiet for a while. As a matter of fact, he went 12 minutes without a basket.
Yeah, and then he kind of put things on his shoulders and said, "I got this." For the Pilots, Matt Schaus has to show up, and again, we saw that in the first game. Finished the game 7 for 10 from the field, 5 for 6 on the foul line, 22 points, and I think he only had 2 or 4 points in the first half. So Matt needs to come in. I thought he had a real poor first half, so we'll see if he can come and play.
Let's go over to Matt Copsey, who will share his first half thoughts. Coach?
I think they have to find a way to get Zach Miller some more touches, 4-4 from the field, and those were all early in the game. I know that Indiana Wesleyan made some adjustments on the defensive end, but Bethel has to find a way with screens or whatever to get Zach Miller some touches, even if they're toward the basket, because Zach has got that look in his eye today where he's not going to miss. Another thing, and both of you mentioned, Matt Schaus, he has to become more of an effective performer on the offensive end. He's done it in the other areas. He has to find a way to get the ball in his hands. And I also think the wild card is you have to find a way to get that 4th foul on Lane Maheron, and get him out of the game, because I think if they do that, Wesleyan will have to do some things different on the offensive end and on the defensive end as well.
Yeah, I'd like to see it's Pilots ball. I'd like to see them come out with some sort of a cross-screen look where you get Lane down in the low post, pump fake, try and draw contact and take advantage of the young man and send him to the bench.
Lane Maheron didn't even start the last ball game for these two clubs when they met, but make no mistake about it, and Bubash was the guy who got the start. So it's interesting how these teams' lineups and how the basic infrastructure of their teams have changed in just one round through the conference season.
And Wassink only got in for the final minute of the half, but I think Wassink poses a difficult matchup because R.J. Maheron doesn't like to come out and defend away from the basket. And we know Ryan can drop that three-pointer, so it'll be interesting to see if Ryan gets an earlier look here in the second half.
All right, we're ready to get underway here for the second 20 in this key Crossroads League game. The 17-4 Wildcats, 7-2 in the Crossroads League, taking on the 16-5 Pilots, 5-4 in the league. The Pilots a 38-36 leader. The Wildcats are to my right, decked out in the red shorts, the red jerseys, the white numbers trimmed in gray with the white, gray, and black trim on the side of the red shorts. The Bethel Pilots to our left, decked out in the white jerseys and, of course, the white shorts with the blue numbers trimmed in gray.
We got some scoreboard issues, and I got to say, Paul, this seems to happen every game that we do here at Bethel College, and they've spent a lot of money on other things around campus, but somehow, some way, they need to find a way to fix this scoreboard issue because it gets frustrating. You got assistant coach Ryan Lightfoot with his head under the table. We've seen it with Jody Martinez and Chris Hess trying to coach a game and at the same time trying to get the scoreboard to work. And so hopefully somebody out there is listening from Bethel and can work on finding some funds for a new scoreboard.
All right, our coaches play such a pivotal part in this matchup. Of course, Indiana Wesleyan has great work. Jeff Clark, who's been with Greg the entire time he's been there. He's one of the best assistant coaches in the league. He's here. Ethan Watley, Dave Dimich, and Fred Hobson. Also, these guys have been together for such a long time, so they got a good working knowledge. And I would say the same thing about the Bethel staff. Tony Natale, 17 seasons. Ryan, his third season. Coach, you've been a part of this program for 9 seasons. We have Alex Daniel, a part of that too. And I don't know what we just did, but we just lost our power. We're going to have to go up to Brad. Brad, are we good to go still? Everything's still up and going? Okay, because I thought we had a power outage there.
Lost us for a second.
To knock us off the air momentarily. So on the floor for the Indiana Wesleyan Wildcats will be DJ Bettinger, along with Zach Vandewater, R.J. Mahern, Jordan Widener, and Lane Mahern are on the floor for the red-clad Indiana Wesleyan Wildcats. Bethel will come back with their starting lineup of Travis Smith, Matt Schaus, Zach Miller, Ryan Benner, and Patrick Edding will be on the floor as the teams still try to sort out some of the details. The question I have, Coach, if they can't get the second scoreboard working, what is the rule? Because this is a new one for me. Matt, do you have any idea?
I assume they just play.
Oh,
you just play.
They'll play.
And I don't know that it's that big of a deal. It's disadvantage maybe for Bethel, but really you're worried about the shot clock. You're not necessarily worried about the game clock. Late in the game it would be a little more key, but as far as the score, I mean, you just play.
All right, we're going to take a quick timeout, come back with more right after this on Regional Radio Sports.
Hello there, this is Nat King Cole, wishing you all a happy and a Merry Christmas.
The joy of living is in the giving. So let's give lots of toys for tots.
Since 1947, the United States Marine Corps has been helping Santa fill his sleigh, making happier holidays for deserving children right in your community. Go to toysfortots.org and learn how you can make a difference.
Some people would call him a loser. He ran for state office. He was beaten. He started a business. He failed. He ran for Congress. He lost. He was nominated for vice president. He lost again. But he knew only those who never tried are the real losers. And Abraham Lincoln was no loser. Persistence. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Okay, we're going to play with one scoreboard. It'll be the scoreboard to my right.
Pilots got hosed.
And with the basketball will be the Pilots to inbounds to move from right to left. Here's Matt Schaus with the ball in the backcourt. Across the timeline, one-on-one against Vandewater. Goes to Miller on the far wing. Pop out here to Travis Smith, back to the left side, now to Benner. Benner.
Got to get the ball in the Pat there against Lane Mahern.
Looking for some help. Ryan Benner stops, goes inside to the low post. Now to Pat. Pat dribbles, shoots over Mahern, and scores.
Yeah.
Pilots lead it 40-36.
Lane's got to give him that shot. He can't pick up his fourth foul. The Pilots have got to work on that matchup.
The ball here is into the hands of R.J. Mahern, going to the far side. Now to
you got a mismatch now with Travis Smith.
So with Widener back out here to Lane Mahern, this side of the low post. Now to R.J. Mahern, and what a play that time by Matt Schaus with the steal on the double down. Up court quickly, Travis Smith on the near wing. Looking, goes over here to Zach Miller. Miller leans inside, and he is hammered. Good job that time, but what a defensive play by Matt Schaus over here on the right side of the floor.
It's going to be 2 fouls now on Jordan Whitener. Well, I'm sorry, Jordan Whitener's first foul. It's a great job, Travis Smith, of man enough to play against R.J. Mahern, and then Matt Schaus taking advantage of it, doubling down and knock that away. Getting on the floor for the loose ball. Maybe that'll get Matt going.
Zach Miller, 78% free throw shooter at the line, is able to convert the first free throw. Bethel a 41-36 leader right now here with 19-11 to go in this second 20. And Zach with another free throw is good again. 42-36. 6-point Bethel advantage here at the 19-11 mark.
13 points for Zach Miller today.
Pilots have scored the first 4 points of the half. Widener on the far wing goes over there to Bettinger. Bettinger out here to the top now to Widener on the step out. Here's Widener. Comes back outside to Lane Mahern, inside to R.J. Mahern. Lost the handle on it. Zach Miller on the double down with the steal. Here come the Pilots. Here's Ryan Benner. Long three on the way. Good! 45-36 BC as Benner dials one in from the far wing.
Great job again with help side defense and R.J. Mahern, who's not paying much attention to what's going on.
Here's Mahern with a drive inside. He traveled, and they're going to call a foul on Pat Edding. You got to be kidding me.
That's a late whistle. He lowered his hand into his shoulder into him and then shot away from him. And R.J. just out of control. You're a minute and a half into the half, and R.J.'s sucking wind already.
So to shoot the free throw will be the senior from Rockville High School, and he converts that one. It's now 45-37 in favor of the Bethel Pilots, as Mahern will try to get his club a little closer, and he does so.
3 fouls now on Pat Edding.
45-38 our score. Bethel with the lead. And with the ball.
What are the odds when RJ's matched up against Travis Smith? Turnover. Matt Schaus, turnover. Pat Edding.
Here's the ball in the near wing. Travis Smith. Looks, goes inside. Here's the ball kicked away, and there's no call on the kick.
And then that pass was not there. I don't know what Travis thought he saw, but that was a poor decision right there.
DJ Benner going to the right side now to Vandewater. His three-point shot, no good. Pat Edding comes out for the rebound long. He in transition. Here come the Pilots. Schaus bounce pass to Smith. Smith back out to Benner. Benner will load up the triple, and ball's tapped out here by Edding. Kept it alive to Miller. Now in the corner to Schaus. Schaus, he'll settle down. Good job here by Matt Schaus.
Get Pat down in the low block against Lane.
With the basketball, Zach Miller jump pass out to Travis Smith. Back to Zach in the near corner. Zach looking for some help. Wait, as Pat flashes out high here on the elbow. There he goes. Pat looking for a cutter. Goes right side now to Matt Schaus. Matt hedges off a screen. Still on the dribble. Looking, stops, goes back out to Travis Smith at the left elbow. 8 on the shot clock. Matt will load up the 18-footer, no good, and a foul whistled inside on the Pilots.
Going to be 4 fouls on Pat Edding. Oh, calling Ryan Benner on that one.
That'll be the second foul called on the Pilots. The Wildcats with 1 infraction, and that's the first foul of the afternoon on the Mishawaka product, Ryan Benner. Wildcat basketball here in the half-court. Zach Vandewater comes back out to Widener. Widener with the drive, hands it off over here to the far wing, now to Bettinger. Bettinger on the drive, cut off. Comes back out to the top, now to Widener. Widener loads up the triple. Shot in and out, no good. Matt Schaus the rebound. Schaus pushing the ball up in transition to Pat. Pat down to go, and he was fouled.
Yeah.
And in hockey, you know what you would call right there? That would be a penalty shot.
That's a great pass by Matt Schaus. Great job by Pat Edding to run the floor.
17-11 to go in regulation. And Pat Edding, who, tell you what, the weight he lost and the dedication that he turned himself into the basketball player that he is during the summer has been great to see. And that play right there epitomizes what he's done.
Yep.
Free throw no good, though.
2 fouls now on R.J. Mahern. You see Schaus and Benner out there talking. Just poor communication at last possession and letting Widener get a wide open look. Pilots were lucky that he missed it.
Pat with 1 more opportunity. 6'6" senior, 71% free throw shooter. Free throw on the way this time is off the rim, no good, so he missed a pair on that. Thought that went off Mahern.
Yeah, they're going to overrule that. They got to overrule that. That's staying here. Brad Klaus, there you go. We've seen Brad be stubborn in the past that he doesn't allow others to overrule him, so I'm glad he was willing to take the help there from Jimmy.
So the Pilots retain possession on the 2 missed free throws by Pat Edding. And they'll have the basketball to inbound to the left of their lane, going into the corner now to Edding. Back to Zach Miller on the near wing. Zach on the crossover, looking for some help, still on the dribble. A little screen and roll now to Pat. Pat to the goal, and he scores. 47-38 Pilots. Pat Edding Comes back and makes the pair after all.
10 for Pat, and again, Lane Mahern can't defend that. He has to let it go. He doesn't want to pick up that fourth foul.
With the ball here at the top of the ring now. Bob Peters swings it over here to Widener on the right wing. Widener on the drive, and he's fouled by Travis Smith. And that's a good call on the hand check that time as Travis was pushing all the way.
And Travis has got fouls to give. That's all right. That's good hustle by Travis. That's good defense, and you'll take that foul. You don't want to give up a layup. Make Widener work to get to the basket.
Brandon Gerber to check into the contest now. Now he goes over here to Lane Mahern, now to RJ. Free throw line jump shot on the way, no good. But a foul whistled on the Pilots. I believe it's going to be on Ryan Benner.
Going to be Ryan's second. Yeah, that's just a bad decision there by Ryan.
And RJ Mahern will go to the line. He's a 66% free throw shooter. Averages 9 rebounds and 17 points per contest. The right-hander from Rockville misses the free throw here at the 16:42 mark. And he'll have one more opportunity. Both these clubs are nearly identical in the free throw department. Wesleyan at 73%, Bethel at 72%. Both free throws are off the mark. So RJ did exactly what Pat Edding did, missed a pair of free throws.
I'd like to see the Pilots isolate Pat down in that low block again if they can.
Zach Miller at the top of the ring now. Little screen and roll now here, high to Pat Edding. Swing it over here to the left corner now to Brandon Gerber. Gerber coming across the lane, finds Miller on the far wing. He hedges off a screen, goes into the right corner now to Pat Edding. Pat reverses it, looking, comes back out high now to Schaus. And Matt had it knocked out of bounds off of him.
It's a poor possession by the Pilots. Pat picked up his dribble over there in the corner. I'm not sure why Pat's 20 feet from the basket. Get your butt down on the post and sit strong. Be a big man down there. He's been so good these last few games. He's got to take advantage of that.
Danville High School standout Jordan Widener with a basketball on the half-court set. Comes out here to Peters. Peters at the top of the ring, guarded by Miller. We're going to run a double high offense here. They'll go to high post lane. McCurran headed the ball, stolen away by Zach Miller. Miller over here to Schaus. Matt on the drive, stops, looks, cross courts it to Zach. Zach Miller, a wide open three off the front of the air, no good. Brandon Gerber hustles down the rebound.
Good hustle by the Pilots.
And Schaus will re-engage the offense at the top here now.
And make them play some defense here. Run some clock, pass a move.
Here is Gerber with a basketball. Out here to Benner. Benner will stop and pop. Shot no good. Rebound. Schaus tips it up. And where's the foul? Gerber keeps it alive again. How about Brandon Gerber winning all the hustle awards? Here's Gerber with the ball. Backdoor pass here now to Schaus. Schaus on the near wing. Finds Benner. He'll stop and pop from 17. Off the rim. No good. Pat Edding tips it out to Gerber again. Back to Miller for three. God! Oh, my! What a hustle play! Brandon Gerber wins the hustle play award.
Brandon Gerber, offensive rebounds, we talked the pregame. Offensive rebounds leading to putback opportunities. Great job by Brandon Gerber, knowing his role and excelling at it.
Just a few weeks ago, firmly planted in Chateau Bow Wow.
Because of this game.
Absolutely, but he has played himself out of the doghouse and has catapulted his club to a 12-point advantage at the 15:06 mark. Timeout Wesleyan.
The Gates Automotive Group has been serving Michiana for over 85 years. The Gates promise of fairness, honesty, and integrity can be seen each day at Gates Downtown, Gates Chevy World, Mishawaka, Gates Toyota Scion South Bend, Gates Island Road, and Gates of Granger. For 85 years, Gates dealerships have been providing great growth opportunities for all of its employees. If you're interested in becoming one of the team members, stop by our family-owned and operated business. For more information on Gates Automotive Group, check out the website, www.gatesautomotive.com.
What about the hustle play, guys, of Brandon Gerber keeping the ball alive? And really, Coach, I think you mentioned it earlier, right now, the Pilots just seem to play a little bit more with more sense of urgency.
Absolutely, and now you've got Lane Mahern going to the bench, RJ Mahern going to the bench. The Pilots play with more intensity, and just they want it more right now. So, great job.
Yeah, seven rebounds now for Brandon Gerber. He had 3 offensive rebounds in that sequence down there.
Yeah, that's it. And he was a guy I saw as soon as I got in the gym today, and we talked, because we talked after that IWU game, and he said, Coach, I need this one. This is big for me.
Here's Eric Reedman in the ball game, a 6'3" freshman from Fenton High School in Michigan in the contest. Now, here's a 3-point shot of the far wing. Matt Schaus grabs the rebound off the missed shot, that time by Greathouse.
Gerber pulled it away after Schaus tipped it.
Here is Benner over the handoff now to Miller. Back to Benner on the far wing. Comes back out to the point now to Matt Schaus. Matt looking for some help. Once again, Gerber so active on the glass.
Got to get Benner down low on Bettinger.
Here is Ryan Benner. Reverses the ball back to Matt Schaus in the far wing. Here is Matt on the crossover dribble, running one-hander in the lane and a foul call.
Yeah, Bettinger can't handle Benner on the post, so I like to see the Pilots go ahead and get Pat up on the high post, let Ryan take care of the low post there and go to work on Bettinger, who just picked up his second foul.
Matt shouts to go to the charity stripe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Matt Copsey, as Matt has yet to score a field goal. Is that right?
6 from the field, 2 of 3 from the free throw line.
And the free throw line, he misses this one. Pat Enning comes out of the ball game, and Michael Mislin will check back in. And Matt with one more free throw here at 14:30 to go. Matt hoping to do a 1 of 2 opportunity, and he's able to get 1 of 2. It's now 51-38 at BC. Widener on the near wing, comes back out to the top to Reedman, far side now back to Widener. Widener waiting for a cutter, on the drive, spins baseline, shot blocked away by Gerber, but a foul called. Oh my.
It's going to be 3 fouls on Brandon. That's great defense by Brandon Gerber. Might have gotten him on the wrist there, I don't know, but did a great job of using his body to stop the drive.
The senior, Jordan Widener at the line, 86%, averages 5 assists, 2.5 rebounds, and 18 points. He has been so clutch for this club over the years. Let's see what he does here at 14-17. He gets the kind roll. It's now 51-39. Gerbs comes out of the ballgame. Now Benner, it'll be Benner, Mislin, Schaus, Miller, and Landon Booker back onto the hardwoods now for BC here in the Gates Gym. Widener's second free throw good again. And it's now 51-40 Bethel. Matt Schaus on the slow walk over the timeline now into the forecourt. Goes left wing now to Booker. Booker on the dribble drive, stops, comes back out to the top now to Mislin inside of the low post to Benner. Ryan, fadeaway 12-footer, good! 53-40 BC. Ryan Benner at the 13:58 mark.
Benner with 11 now.
Top of the ring now here is Bettinger. Drives, kick out into the corner now to Peters. Peters on the drive. Oh, nice powerful move that time by Peters. Going right baseline. 53-42. 13:43 to go in regulation.
A nice aggressive move by Peters.
And that was Wesleyan's first field goal of the second half.
With the ball here in the near corner, now Benner goes to Booker. Booker's drives, shoots, scores, and a foul call! What a play by Buck!
And I was just getting ready to say, I don't think Reedman can guard Booker, but I stopped. But I thought Booker could have gotten to the basket on the last possession if he wanted to. That's just a bad matchup for Iowa, thinking that Reedman's going to be able to handle Booker inside or out.
Tyler Greathouse comes out of the contest now, and Lane Mahern will check back in. And Booker to go to the line. Landon, the John Adams product, will go to the line, shooting 73%, averaging 6.5 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. The right-hander eyes, flies, and converts the old-fashioned three-point play. Bethel, a 56-42 leader here with 13:30 to go. Widener going deep right corner now to Bettinger. Bettinger on the right wing, wrap around to the lone post now to Lane Mahern. He's double teamed there. Jump step comes back out here to Bettinger. His three-point shot is in and out. Matt shouts the rebound. Matt pushing the ball up over the timeline now. Where's the hand check?
Yeah, there's another bump.
That guy here to Benner. Benner loads up the triple off the rim. No good. Rebound comes out long now. Here to Peters. Down to the right side now to Widener. Widener for 3 off the front of the iron. Shouts the rebound. Up court quickly to Buck. 2-on-1 if they hurry. Buck drives. Shot blocked away. Ball's on the floor. And Ryan Benner couldn't come away with it. Here they come 3-on-1. Here's a drive by Reedman. And a blocking foul called on Matt Schaus. With 12:52 to go in regulation.
That's a tough break there for the Pilots. Had that breakaway transition, and Book couldn't finish. Iowa doing a good job of coming back, attacking the basket. Good job by Reedman there to get to the foul line. So 56-42, Pilots 12:52 to go. Reedman going to the foul line. He's a 84% foul shooter on the year.
The right-hander delivers and misses it off to the right. 12:52 to go in regulation. Oh, a ton of time in this one. Pilots up 56-52. 6 fouls have been whistled on the Pilots, 4 on the Wildcats here. And number 11, eyes, flies, and knocked down 1 of 2. And he comes out of the ball game, and Zach Vandewater checks back in. 56-43.
Full court 2-2-1 press here by Iowa. Haven't seen this all game.
Schaus right sideline now to Miller. Miller over the timeline, looks. Reversal back to Matt Schaus. Matt to the goal, and he finishes.
Maybe that's why we haven't seen the 2-2-1 press the entire game.
58-50, 58-43. Here's a great play by Matt Schaus, knocking it away from Vandewater.
I thought it hit Vandewater's hip going up. Thought it should have been going the other way. That's a great hustle by Matt Schaus to finish on one end and then hustle back to get the tip out of bounds.
And Widener inbounds the basketball, and Landon Booker tries to save it. And
Pilots just playing with more intensity. We've seen it all day, Paul.
Still a ton of time left, though.
Yes.
Widener, deep right corner, comes out here to the far wing now. They go here. Here's a drive by Vandewater. We're using the rim as a defender. Missed the shot. Mislin the rebound. 4-on-3 Bethel break.
Zach Miller on the right.
Here's Zach Miller on the right wing. Stops. Goes inside. Now to Miz. Miz powers to the goal and scores.
Great job by Zach Miller, Matt Schaus, and Michael Mislin.
Back the other way. Here's Peters. Shot blocked away from behind by Mislin.
Run the floor, Miz.
There he is. The right side to Mislin. And Mislin scores. 62-43. Timeout, Indiana Wesleyan. The Pilots come out of the second half energized.
That's
with a 62-43 lead. 12:05 to go. We'll regroup right after this on Regional Radio Sports.
This is boot camp. This is the real thing now. You've never done anything so hard in your life. You don't understand how you can finish. It takes inner strength and desire to become a Marine. When I finished, I was like, I did it. The moment I will never forget is when this drill instructor that I admire so much comes up to me and said, "Good morning, Marine."
PFC Summer Volkman became a Marine. Can you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
Welcome back here on Regional Radio Sports. Paul Connery, Mark Gardner, Tanya Connery, Pat Doherty, Brad Brink, and the incomparable Matt Copsey.
Did you know that the Gates Automotive Group is the #1 seller of pre-owned vehicles in Michiana? Gates sells more, which means Gates can give you more for your trade-in. Stop by any of our locations at Gates Downtown, Gates Chevy World Mishawaka, Gates Toyota Scion South Bend, Gates Island Road, and Gates of Granger. The Gates Automotive Group has been serving Michiana for over 85 years. Great job by Michael Mislin coming off that great performance last game. Gets a score, the block, runs the floor, and gets a score at the other end.
Well, the Pilots 9-17 here to start the second half. Indiana Wesleyan just 1 out of 9, and Wesleyan down to 2 timeouts now left in the ball game.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Matt. The Pilots have outscored Indiana Wesleyan 24-7 since the intermission. It was a 2-point ball game at 38-36 at the intermission, and Indiana Wesleyan to move from left to right.
Yeah, 24-7 to start the second half. Wesleyan has 3 turnovers already. They only had 3 turnovers in the first half.
Here's Lane Mahern with the basketball, driving down the lane, running one-hander, left it short, and Schaus guilty of the infraction. That'll be the 17th foul. Now, here's an interesting scenario developing right now as we speak, as IWU will go 1 in bonus from here on out, and that comes at the 12-minute mark.
And neither team was in the bonus in the first half.
Lane Mahern at the line, a 69% free throw shooter. He converts 62-44.
IWU's going to come out in that 2-2-1 press again, it looks like, with Widener being back deep.
And the freshman's second free throw is good. And it's now 62-45 Bethel. Schaus goes over here to Mislin. Mislin back over here to Booker. Booker looking for some help. Cross courts it now here to Schaus. Matt delivers the goal. What a play by Booker.
Great look by Booker, falling out of bounds almost at the half-court line.
With a basketball, Widener on the far wing now. Cross courts it now here to the top, now to Bettinger.
Got Zach Miller pinned down low.
Here is R.J. Mahern scoring inside. 64-47. As the Mahern boys have scored the last 4 points for the Cats. Here's Miller with a drive down the lane. Into Miz. Miz shoots and scores.
Great job of getting in the middle of that zone and then attacking the basket. That's easy money right there for Michael Mislin.
Up court quickly. Mahern had it knocked away by Matt Schaus. And what a play by Landon Booker as he ends up in the second row there.
Hanging out over there with the Notre Dame women's team in the second row. Kayla McBride with a good save of Landon Booker.
66-47 BC. Michael Mislin, ladies and gentlemen, as he erupted this group. With the ball here on the far wing now is Zach Vandewater. Back into the corner now. 3-point shot on the way by Bettinger is good. They needed that one. 66-50. The 3 goes in at the 11-minute mark.
And the Pilot coaching staff talked at halftime about not letting Bettinger get open. They did a good job of containing him in the first half. He's capable of knocking down that 3. That's his first one of the game.
Zach Miller goes right side on the wing now to Pat Edding. Pat looking for some help. Still on the dribble, gives it over to Miller on the far wing. Zach backing out of harm's way, goes to Pat in the corner. Pat's 16-foot baseline shot, good. 68-50. Pat knocking down an important jump shot at the 10:35 mark. Here is Lane Mahern with a drive down the lane. Shot on the way, no good. And a foul called on who?
It's going to be Matt or Pat, but either way, Matt's got to do a better job of containing the dribble. It's going to be Pat picking up his 4th foul, and that's Matt's fault. Pat's got to help Matt because he's not containing the ball there.
10:30 to go in regulation, and Lane Mahern, who's 2 for 2 here in the second half, averaging 5 rebounds, an assist, a steal, and a block a game, and also helps out with 9.5 points. And the right-hander's free throw is no good at 10:30 to go.
Unfortunate there because Pat just checked in for Michael Mislin, so Mislin's going to come right back in for Pat, which it's nice that Miz is playing well.
Edding and shouts to the bench. Gerber joins Benner back on the floor. So it's Zach Miller, Ryan Benner, Brandon Gerber, Landon Booker, and Michael Mislin. Second of the free throw is good. 68-51. So Lane Mahern on the 1 of 2. Ryan Benner with the ball for Bethel. Comes over the timeline now into the forecourt. Crosses over, drives, kick out to Mislin. Mislin thinks about it, comes back to Benner on the right elbow. Benner, jump pass inside, threw it away. And Lane Mahern.
Poor decision there by Ryan. He's got Lane Mahern on him. He could attack the basket. No need to force that pass.
Pettinger goes over here. Netta Vandewater back to Widener. Widener back out to Lane Mahern. He drives inside, running one-hander. Banks no good. R.J. Mahern with the rebound. No, and here's an easy basket for Vandewater. 68-53. Here come the Wildcats. Here, 9:52 to go.
Offensive rebounds. We talked about that, Paul.
And a timeout, Bethel College. Pilots lead at 68-53. We'll be back right after this brief timeout on Regional Radio Sports.
Hi again, it's me, Sarah. I just got a text from TCU that means my first paycheck got deposited. I can't wait to treat myself. Of course, Mom and Dad want me to save, and thanks to TCU Everyday Savings, I can't. Every time I use my TCU Debit MasterCard, TCU rounds my purchase up to the next dollar and moves the change to my savings. So I can spend a little and still save. Visit TCUnet.com to start owning your financial future. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
You get to the top, get hooked in, and then you look over the edge. I was like, no way am I jumping off this tower. I'm staying right here. I'm like, am I ever going to be good enough to be a Marine? When it was all said and done, watching the color guard raise the American flag, I thought, I am a United States Marine.
PFC Keith Palka knows you don't join the Marines, you become one. Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
Thanks for joining us here from the Gates Gymnasium. I'm Paul Condry along with the coach, Mark Gardner, and Matt Copsey. Some scores, Coach?
Yeah, we got Spring Arbor up 35-26 at the half over Goshen. Marion beating Huntington 34-23 at the half. And Grace with 10 minutes to play, a 1-point leader over Taylor.
Ryan Benner to inbound the basketball. Looking, goes over here to Zach Miller at the top. And Zach comes back to Ryan Benner, and the Pilots engage the offense. Pilots' biggest lead in the ballgame was 19. Indiana Wesleyan's biggest lead was 8. Here's Mislin at the right elbow. Looking for some help, goes left side now to Zach Miller. Miller hedges off a screen at the top. Looking for some help, goes left side to Gerber. Inside of the low post to Miz. Miz backing in. Shot on the way, blocked away that time by Lane Mahern.
Yeah, Miz did a good job of splitting the defense, but just didn't have anything to go up and finish with.
DJ Bettinger with a drive down the lane. Blocked by Zach Miller. Over to Miz.
Push it.
Here's Ryan Benner over the timeline now with 9:15 to go in regulation. I think it's an important offensive sequence here for Bethel.
Yeah, I want to see Benner get down and post up on Bettinger.
Here's Booker on the near wing now. Flashing out high, here's Gerber inside the low. It is
that's a hold. He had his jersey. Absolutely grabbed his jersey.
As a matter of fact, Michael had his jersey tucked into his shorts, and he tugged on the jersey so hard that it came out of his shorts.
And that's a real good call by Matt Hans, as he said. Pulled him on the jersey, called it exactly how he saw it. So it's going to be 4 fouls now on Lane Mahern. That's a big foul for Iwu.
And Lane Mahern comes out of the ballgame, and I really like Bob Peters, the 6'2 freshman from Cuyahoga, Ohio.
Yeah, he's done a nice job out there.
Here's the ball inside to Gerber. Gerber near baseline, and he's fouled out there by Bob Peters.
And it's going to be 16 fouls. I believe that's Peters' second foul. Is that right, Matt?
9:01 to go in regulation. It'll be Bethel to inbound the basketball to the left of the lane, holding on to a 68-53 advantage over the number 11 Wildcats. Here's Booker in the near corner, looking for some help. Still hasn't dribbled out, and it goes to Ryan Benner. Benner, big mismatch out here. We got Benner on the right wing, now hands it off to Miller. Zach loads up the triple off the rim, no good rebound. Michael Mislin saves it over here to Miller.
Good hustle by Miz.
Back out here to Ryan Benner. Ryan Benner on the drive. Looking, kick out here to Zach Miller. Miller at the top now, hands it off to Booker with 22 on the shot clock. Now they go high now to Gerber, back to Miller. Oh, Zach on the drive. Shot from 17, no good. Rebound, Gerber kept it alive. Into the hands of Mislin. And Mislin goes strong to the goal, but he's fouled. But once again, the Pilots just out-hustling Indiana Wesleyan.
Mislin and Gerber, the two guys that really struggled the first time out against this team, really playing well as of late and keeping that alive. I don't like Zach Miller looking for contact. I'd rather Zach just stop and shoot. I think he leaned in there trying to get to the foul line. Just go ahead and pull. Great shooter.
Mislin going to the line, a 59% free throw shooter, averaging 6 points per game, knocks it down 69 to 53.
7 points for Miz, and that's 3 fouls now on Bob Peters.
And at the 8:23 mark, Michael with one more opportunity. He could give his club a 17-point advantage if he does so, and the Ron Colley standout does so. 70 to 53 in favor of the Bethel Pilots. Here's Bettinger going into the far corner to Widener. Back out here to the top now to Mahern. R.J. Mahern with a floating jump shot in the lane. Good. 70 to 55 is R.J. with a beautiful shot down the lane.
Yeah, nice little floater there, just attacking the basket. He handles the ball well for a big man.
Ryan Benner on the right wing now. On the drive, baseline stops, reverses it. Jump pass to Gerber, and Gerber's there for the layup. 72-55. Timeout on the floor, Bethel College. Pilots, ball movement and distribution is better than Mayflower or U-Haul or Ryder. You name the moving company, they have been moving the ball great today.
And that was Benner to Gerber. We saw that connection in the first half. Brandon Gerber just being real active away from the ball. What's Gerber got? 8 points now? Is that right?
Yeah, Gerber with 8 points. He's got 8 rebounds. You got Mislin with 8 points and 7 rebounds. Pat Enning with 12 points and 8 rebounds. And Matt Schaus, although he struggled offensively, he's got 7 rebounds. So the Pilots are winning the battle of the boards today, and that's the difference in the game. That's why they have a 17-point lead.
Compare the numbers from the last game between Mislin and Gerber, as you alluded to.
Gerber 0 for 0 from the field, 1 rebound, 1 foul in 5 minutes. Now Mislin actually played 22 minutes, but only had 2 rebounds. He was 5 for 9 from the field, so he had 10 points, but he only had 2 rebounds. More importantly, they gave up 33 points to R.J. Mahern. How many does R.J. have today?
Mahern's got 16 right now,
okay,
but he's been very quiet in the second half. I think the Pilots, I think that has a lot to do. I don't know if he's sick. I don't know if he's hurt.
He's coming off that concussion, so that could be something. Here's Lane Mahern with the basketball. Cross courts it into the corner now to Peters. Peters on the drive. Goes inside now to Lane Mahern. He shot, he scores, and he fouled. As Miz got there a day late and a dollar short.
You know, but he had his hands straight up, and it's one of those things. It's tough to coach when you tell your players stay straight up and you still get called for the foul. Good job by Lane Mahern leading in and drawing contact.
Miz comes out of the ball game, and Pat Enning will come back in. And Lane Mahern, such a bright future for this youngster from Rockville, Indiana. And certainly got to be one of those all-fresh freshman team candidates.
Yep, 1 foul on Mislin now, 4 on Pat Enning. So
free throw, no good, but the rebound, Gerber lost his footing, and just like that, they score on the putback, 72-59.
And that's a freshman. Peters just shoving Gerber out of the way like yesterday's garbage, and Gerbs can't have that.
Schaus goes left side now here to Ryan Benner. Benner goes now to the top to Gerber, lobs it inside to Pat. Pat to the goal, and he scores.
Great job by Brandon. Looked right over at Coach, pat himself on the chest, said, my bad on the other end, Coach. So, senior leadership.
With the basketball right side now, Widener on the drive, bounce pass here to Lane Mahern, using the rim as a defender. He scores on the reverse layup, 74-61. 7:10 to go in regulation.
Good look
with the lead.
Good look by Widener, and a great job of using the rim there by Lane Mahern.
Schaus goes now to Miller, back to Schaus here in between the rings now. Matt on the dribble dive, they're setting to clear out. Matt shovels it into Benner. Benner scores off the assist from Schaus. 76-61. Ryan Benner.
I really like that offense where they spread the floor and give Schaus the lane to drive and do work.
Here's a 3-point shot on the far wing, no good that time by Bettinger. Pat Enning controls the glass. Schaus left side now to Benner on the near wing. Goes inside to the left baseline now to Gerber. Back to Ryan Benner.
Yep.
Pilots will spread the floor here with 6:32 to go in regulation, leading 76-61.
Looking for a high-low look here. Trying to run pin. High-low look between Gerber and Edding.
Gerber on the drive baseline, and he scores. 78-61. Ryan Benner making it look easy here at 6:17 to go.
15 now for Benner.
Widener on the drive inside the lane. Shot on the way, no good. Rebound. Gerber taps it over here to Schaus. 3-on-2, Bethel break. Here's Zach Miller stopping. Popping for three. Off the rim, no good. But there's Pat Edding with the rebound. And it's tipped out here. Peters up court quickly now to Bettinger. Bettinger on the drive, and he's fouled by Matt Schaus.
And they're going to count the basket. Missed opportunity there by the Pilots. Wide open look for Zach Miller. He couldn't finish. And then Bettinger going hard to the basket. Schaus trying to go ahead and just take the foul. Great job of Bettinger to get it off the glass. It's going to be 3 fouls on Matt.
Gerber's exiting stage left now, and checking back into the contest now will be Landon Booker, as DJ Bettinger is going to go to the line to try to complete the old-fashioned three-point play. 66% free throw shooter, averages 2 assists and a steal, and he does so. 78-64. Wildcats on a key play by DJ Bettinger, and he'll come out of the ballgame now.
So Widener will move over and run the point for Iwu.
As Tyler Greathouse, the Columbus North product, checks back into the contest now. So Landon Booker, one-on-one with Jordan Widener as he come over the timeline now. Booker on the right wing as they interchange over there. Landon comes back out to the top, now to Benner. Benner on the crossover against R.J. Mahern, goes into the corner, now to Book. Book on the drive, running one-hander, had it blocked away, and Zach Miller keeps it alive. Zach hustles it down.
That's got to be a foul. Yeah.
And there's a foul called on R.J. Mahern. Oh, no.
Benner
had his knee come out from underneath him. Oh, my. And he can't even walk. Oh, my, what a tough break here for Ryan Benner.
Yeah, looking over at his dad, and he just has that look on his face like, not again. There we go. Hopefully he just banged it.
And he's coming out of the ball game.
It's going to be 3 fouls, and R.J. Mahern hustling after that loose ball. Zach Miller going to the line, shooting 1-and-1 for the Pilots.
Oh, my goodness.
Sarah's going to go ahead and take Ryan back to the training room.
The certified athletic trainer for Bethel College. Well, I tell you what, that could be a season-changing injury right there for Bethel if that is a serious long-term situation. Zach Miller will go to the charity stripe. Miller on the season, 78% free throw shooter, and there's a hush in this building. It is deathly quiet.
Ryan's mom is crying across the way and hoping that it's not as bad as she thinks.
Both free throws by Zach are good. It's 80-64 with 5:34 to go in regulation. Widener at the top goes right side now here to Peters. Inside to the low post. Here's a double team, and R.J. Mahern scores inside. 80-66. 5:18 to go in regulation.
Good strong move by R.J. They're fighting through the double team of Edding, and Gerber almost had a turnover.
Here is Zach Miller with the ball here on the perimeter. Goes right side now to Landon Booker. Now to Pat Edding in the far corner. Pat on the drive, and a hand check called on the far side by Greathouse. So, Coach, let's just talk about, we saw when Zach Miller went down in the St. Francis game, it was like somebody popped a balloon. The team just changed completely. Now, Ryan Benner's going down. The Pilots were up 12 against St. Francis. Now they're in the same situation here where they're up 14. How will they react when a key component goes down?
You hope they learned from that situation against St. Francis. And
Pat Edding misses a 1 in bonus. Mahern going to the right side now. Shot on the way, no good. Rebound, Pat Edding.
Great job by Pat. Coach Tonigo looking for a hand check like there's not been any contact all night.
Here's Booker with the ball over the timeline. Now Ryan Benner back.
There we go.
There we go.
Willis Reed
coming in.
Absolutely. Good call there, buddy. That was right on.
I saw the highlights.
Only 3 people in the building know what we just said. Willis Reed, that's great. Here's Brandon Gerber with a basketball, handing it off to Zach Miller. Miller back here in the near corner now with 4:28 to go. Here's Miller, and the ball is deflected off of Indiana Wesleyan. He had on the shot clock.
Had Pat on the drive and tried to wrap around pass, but he got it right off of R.J. Mahern's leg.
Gerber comes out of the ballgame, and Ryan Benner back in.
Cross screen, booter.
Matt shouts to trigger the inbound to the left of the lane. Looking. Comes out here to Pat here on the near wing. Pat Edding gives way back to Matt. Matt will load up the jump shot. And he missed it badly.
Shot clock was winding down. Had to get that one up.
Widener over the timeline now. Deep left corner pass. Here is a foul called on Zach Miller as he didn't get to the spot that time. And a nice play that time by Peters, going strong to the glass here.
Yeah, real impressed with Bob Peters. So he's going to go to the line now shooting two, as that's the 11th, I believe, on the teams. Only Zach's first.
And at the line, Peters, a 76% free throw shooter, averages 2.5 rebounds, nearly 9 points a game. And his free throw was good. What a promising star he is on this Indiana Wesleyan team.
Well, it's just, we see this conference. Teams just reload year after year.
Peters is able to convert both free throws, and it's now a 80-68 ball game.
Benner's got a little get up in his steps. It'll be interesting to see how he finishes this out.
Look with the ball here. On the right wing goes now to Ryan Benner. Benner, one-on-one with R.J. Mahurin. Ryan stops. Comes back out top now to Matt Schaus with 4 minutes to go in regulation. Schaus, wrap around to the near wing now to Zach Miller. Miller looking, bounce pass inside now to Pat. Pat looking, and he double dribble.
Yep. Yeah, it's an easy call there for the official.
Turnover number 10 on the Pilots, 3:48 to go. A key defensive scenario by Bethel. They need to keep this in a double-digit scenario.
Six turnovers
for Wesleyan, 10 for Bethel.
6 turnovers for Wesleyan, 10 for Bethel.
Peters will walk it up for Indiana Wesleyan. The freshman from Ohio is over the timeline now into the forecourt in between the circles. Goes to the high post now to Lane Mahurin. He turns and squares, waits for a cutter, goes back over here to Peters. Top of the circle, Widener. Widener hedging off the screen, will load up the triple. Shot off the rim, no good, a rebound. The ball is
out of bounds.
Out of bounds. Thank you, Matthew.
And Benner took that one in the face from R.J. Mahurin. Like the knee wasn't bad enough, he just took one to the cheek.
And Widener 0 for 4 from the field in the second half, just 2 points. He's got 13 for the game.
And the coaches talked at halftime about really making sure they shot. And Benner got cut open. You got to be kidding me.
Mahurin popped him in the right underneath the eye.
And it's gonna.
And he's got a bloody eye, so
he's got it on his jersey.
Yep. So what happens when you take an elbow to the face?
Well, no blood, no foul, right? And the Pilots are going to change jerseys. As number 4 will be the new jersey. Jared Mott's jersey. Jared obviously no longer with the program because of medical issues and severe medical issues that end his career with some concussion issues.
We'll give a shout out to former Pilot JV standout Raquel Lunford, who wore number 4 with great pride too.
So Caleb Ochin comes back into the ball game now. So on the floor, it's Gerber, Caleb Ochin, Zach Miller, Matt Schaus, and Patrick Edding.
And Benner's mom just got done wiping away the tears from the first scare, and now she's got the Kleenex back out across the way as Ryan and Sarah make that jog back to the training room again.
Tell you what.
Full court man-to-man here by Iowa. Have not seen this. Zach Miller needs to flash and help get this ball in bounds possibly.
So 3:27 is where the bloody eye comes into play. And it's a 5-second violation on the Pilots. And that turnover right there.
Yeah, that's just poor recognition. Zach's wide open, and he's got to just dive to the ball right from the get-go. It took him too long to recognize that.
And to inbound the basketball, here's Peters out here to Widener. Widener loads up the triple off the front of the iron. The rebound comes along to Vandewater. Vandewater back to Widener. Widener with a drive kick out here to Lane Mahurin. Mahurin crosses over, comes back to R.J. R.J. spins to the goal, blocked by Pat Edding, but a foul call.
It's going to be Pat's 5th, so you're going to see Michael Mislin check back in, I would assume.
So at 3:15 to go in regulation, Indiana Wesleyan to go to the line as Pat is fouled out. With 3:15 to go in regulation.
Edding fouls out with 14 points and 11 rebounds, 6 baskets, 2 out of 5 from the free throw line, 11 rebounds.
He's got double-doubles in 2 of his last 3 ball games.
Yeah.
And Mahurin's free throw is good. 80-69.
19 for RJ now.
Yep.
Pilots need to be able to inbound the ball here off of a made free throw.
And the second free throw, good again. Now it's a 10-point ball game. Bethel's biggest lead was 19. Here's Caleb Ochin. Jump pass back to Matt Schaus, and Matt will have everybody clear out and come over the timeline now into the forecourt. Matt on the dribble, puts on the brakes at the point. Now goes right side now to Zach Miller. Zach hedging off a screen, backs out, looks, jump pass, and he throws it away. And here's the ball deflected, 3-on-2 break. Here's a drive, a shot, and a score by Bob Peters. Pilots very poor execution the last trip down offensively.
Yeah, not sure what Zach was thinking there. Got caught in the air again. Got to be strong with the ball. Got to play like you've been here before.
2:51 to go in regulation. Bethel an 80-72 leader. We want to thank our friends at the Gates Automotive Group.
Gates Automotive Group's been serving Michiana for over 85 years. The Gates promise of fairness, honesty, and integrity can be seen each day at Gates Downtown, Gates Chevy World, Gates Chevy World Mishawaka, Gates Toyota Scion South Bend, Gates Ireland Road, and the Gates of Granger. For 85 years, Gates dealership's been providing great growth opportunities for all of its employees. If you're interested in becoming one of our team members, stop by our family-owned and operated business. For more information on Gates Automotive Group, check out the website at www.gatesautomotive.com.
Just moments ago at the 5:34 mark, Bethel had a 16-point lead, but since that point in time, they have been very, very quiet. As a matter of fact, a
8-0 run.
8-0 run. Got some scores with Coach.
Yeah, Marion 9-point winners over Huntington. 64-55 is the final there. So Huntington drops to 7-3 in the Crossroads.
Let's go over to a game reset courtesy of the Gates Automotive Group with Matt Copsey.
Yeah, both teams have 2 timeouts left. Next foul by Indiana Wesleyan will put Bethel in the double bonus. Both teams, as I mentioned, 2 timeouts. The arrow favors Indiana Wesleyan right now.
Schaus, Mislin, Gerber, Miller, and Caleb Ochin on the floor. And the Pilots will have the ball to move from right to left. It'll be R.J. Mahurin along with Lane Mahurin, Vandewater, Widener, and Bob Peters on the floor for Iowa.
Pilots give himself some more room to work.
He can run the baseline.
Yeah.
Here's Matt Schaus fouled by Lane Mahurin.
And he just fouled out.
5 on Lane. I don't like... When I coach against full court press, I prefer my guys start above the free throw line and give themselves room to touch the corners. The Pilots are starting too low on the floor, I believe.
So Craig Tonigal will take his time, and he'll call on DJ Bettinger. And to be honest with you,
he's going to use his 30 seconds here. He's going to bring his team over here, and he's going to use his 30 seconds he's allowed.
Ryan Benner, a.k.a. Jared Mott, is in the ball game now. As he's going to wear that new jersey. And coming out of the ball game now for the Pilots is Ochin. So Matt Schaus will go to the charity stripe. He struggled from the field today, but he's a 77% free throw shooter. And this would be huge here from a confidence standpoint, because this could bump it back up with a pair here into double digits. Yeah, and that would take it 4 possessions.
Absolutely.
Schaus, the right-hander, eyes, flies, knocks it down. 81-72.
You've heard this phrase before, 8 points for Schaus. Paul, it's score, stop, score. Got to get one here, get a defensive stop, then get another one in.
Matt, second free throw on the way, rims no good. 1 of 2. 81-72 BC.
Big defensive possession here.
Peters with the basketball now here for Iowa. Goes to the far side. Now to Widener. He pops back up. Goes right side now to Peters. Back to Widener. Back to Peters on the near wing. Peters on the drive baseline. Shovels it inside. Stolen by Matt Schaus. Freshman mistake there by Peters.
Yeah, great defense by Michael Mislin. Forcing baseline and not getting beat.
With the basketball, Ryan Benner here on the near wing. Edges off a screen, goes now to Schaus. With 2:22 to go. Matt with the drive down the lane, shot and he scores. 83-72. Matt Schaus, 3 consecutive points, and at the 2:13 mark, Bethel is up by 11. Here's a 15-foot jump shot by Mahurin, no good, a rebound. Stolen away by Vandermeer. Shot blocked away by Michael Mislin. Miz coming out of nowhere with the Bryce Water.
Miz is open if they look up.
Here's Benner over the timeline now. Hands it off now to Zach Miller. Miller, top of the ring now. Hesitates. Goes right side now to Benner with 1:48 to go in regulation.
20 on the shot clock. Run it down.
Ryan Benner out here wearing Jared Mott's jersey because his jersey has blood everywhere. After a cut to the eye. Benner on the drive. Running one-hander in the lane. No good. Air ball, but he got it back and scores!
We've seen it all game. The Pilots just want it more, Paul. They deserve this one.
85-72. Here's Widener with a drive down the lane, and he's fouled by Brandon Gerber.
Now they're going to call Schaus for the reach, and Gerber did a great job, but I believe we'll see what Brad calls.
All right, we're gonna give you a game reset here, Neil. 1:24 to go in regulation. Bethel and 85-72 leaders. Both teams are in one in bonus. Matt Copsey.
Yeah, both teams are actually in the double bonus. 2 timeouts left each team. The arrow favors Indiana Wesleyan.
Widener's free throw is good, making it now 85-73 with 1:24 to go.
14 now for Widener. He's without a field goal in the second half.
It'll be interesting to see if Indiana Wesleyan starts fouling the Pilots, see if they can earn it from the foul line. We've talked about that just about every game, it seems.
85-74.
Yep, there it is right there, yeah.
And Ryan Benner was fouled immediately by DJ Bettinger. Well, once again, we've seen this team lose games at the line.
Yep, Bettinger with 3 fouls.
Coach Greg Donegal's staff evidently have looked at the box scores, watched the film. They know what's going on. You got to be able to make free throws. The Pilots have struggled in some of those areas, and now Benner at the line.
Grace, a 66-62 winner over Taylor today.
And Benner scores the free throw, 86-74.
18 points now for Ryan. Taylor drops to 3 and 7. Grace ups the record to 5 and 5 after an 0-4 start.
Ryan Benner, another free throw, 87-74, 1:23 to go. With the ball on the far wing now, Widener loads up the triple, knocks it down. His first basket in a long time, as Matt alluded to just moments ago, making it an 87-77 ball game with a $1.15. So the last 5 points by Indiana Wesleyan have come off the stellar senior from Danville High School, Jordan Widener.
That's pretty easy stuff there, catch and shoot. Wide open 3, could have been a 4-point play as Gerber got a little close there, and so Nathan Bubash checking in, probably looking for him to foul, get a little bit more defense out there. 10-point game, you can't defend. You've got to foul and send the Pilots to the line. You can't let them run 35 seconds.
Pilots trying to end a 4-game losing streak to Indiana Wesleyan, and the Pilots, of course, as we alluded at the top of the program, they have lost 8 in the last 10 to these pesky Wildcats under the leadership of Greg Donegal. What a great job he has done. 4-time Coach of the Year in the Crossroads League, 5 straight Crossroads League's regular season championship. And as I've mentioned many times, if you follow Bethel basketball, I was there when Greg Donegal played his last game as a high schooler in the old single class tournament in Indianapolis. I was doing basketball for 20 plus years in the region, and that was part of our broadcast area. And it's been neat to see him grow up to be a great young man and great father by 2 great coaches. And if you heard during the pregame show, both of these coaches were standing up for cancer. They're both guys they were holding their cards for. Neil Young, the coach at Goshen, showing the class of these 2 gentlemen.
Absolutely.
The architects of greatness in this Crossroads League.
Yep, and certainly prayers out for Neil Young there. Great young man.
87-77, the Pilots. Brandon Gerber with an opportunity. He'll be guarded by Nathan Bubash as he inbounds the basketball to move from right to left now. Gerbs goes over here to Matt Schaus. Matt immediately double teamed, and he is fouled. Who are they got to call on? I think they're going to call it on Bubash.
Yeah, and Matt almost traveled, almost dribbled the ball out of bounds. So
with 1:12 to go in regulation, Matt Schaus to head off to the free throw line where he wipes off his hands and his chin, and he'll go to the line to try to get this thing done as R.J. Mahearn's getting ready to check back in here after the free throw. As Matt knocks down the first one, it's now 88-77.
Offense, defense. Mahearn will check in for Bubash.
Checking out Bubash, the 6'6 freshman from Munster, another guy from up there in the region. Schaus, one more opportunity. 11 on the day. Second one good, make it 12. And he's now giving the Pilots an 89-77 advantage. Here's a 3-point shot here from the near side by DJ Benner. Caroms into the corner. Brandon Gerber saves it. Over here now to Mislin. Mislin's hit upside the noggin by Widener.
Imagine that. Brandon Gerber coming up with a loose ball, huh? There's something new. Widener acted like it wasn't a foul to hit a guy in the head. Apparently, new rules for Jordan.
Evidently.
I love the way he competes. He's a great ball player.
Great competitor.
When you knock a guy in the head, it's a foul.
Yeah, we've seen Ryan Life do that so many times. Ryan never had a foul in his career.
Yeah.
So Miz at the line. Oh boy, is the Roncalli standout, played well the last few ball games.
9 points today for Miz.
90-77. The Pilots 64 ticks of the second half clock remaining away from a very important win to start the second half of the Crossroads League. Miz knocks them both down.
10 points for Miz. And we should say hi to Miz's family because they're usually here, but I'm sure with the weather they didn't make it up today.
Here's Widener with a wide open 3 on the way. Good. 91-80 as Widener continues his torrid pace. Shouts up court quickly to Miller. Zach over the timeline now. On the right wing now, double team, and he is mugged. And Widener and Miller And a great play there by Widener. You see what he did? He didn't want Zach Miller to hit the floor. And that shows the class of that young man right there.
Yeah, interesting. Now it's 3 fouls on Widener. Bettinger let the Pilots dribble 6 seconds off because he didn't want to pick up his 4th foul.
So Zach Miller to go to the line. And Miller, the academic All-American, rattles home the free throw. 92-80 with 53.3 seconds to go.
And right now you're playing against the clock as much as you're playing against the Iowa, so every second counts.
Miller knocks down both free throws. 93-80. Ryan Wassing checks in the ball game, and Miz will get a blow. How about the Bethel Bigs today?
Absolutely.
Matt Copsey. I know you can add up those totals between the big fella Pat Edding and Michael Mislin.
Well, Pat Edding fouled out with 14 points. He had 11 rebounds. Michael Mislin, 10.7 rebounds.
Vandewater knocks down a triple, and it's now 93-83 with 46.8 seconds to go. And then foul whistled again, and the Pilots will come down. Sorry to interrupt you, Matt, for that three-point basket.
No, that's all right. I was done.
Ryan Wassing checking in for Miz, and I think that's Wassing's a better foul shooter. But Miz has had a nice day, and he knocked down his last 2 free throws. So
46.7 seconds to go as Schaus will go to the line again. The right-hander eyes, flies, knocks it down. 94-83. We've talked about this team struggling, and here's an opportunity for them to really kind of turn the tables. And both free throws by Matt are good. It's now 95-83.
He was there. 3 officials out here. Nobody sees a sub sitting at the bench. That gets frustrating.
Wassing checks out, and Miz back in. A little offense for defense for substitution. And here's DJ Bettinger over the timeline now. Kick out here now to Maher, and RJ with the 3 on the way. No good. A rebound. Brandon Gerber hands it off to
Story of the
Zach
game.
Miller.
And Coach Donegal's going to let him dribble this one out.
As Schaus comes over the timeline now. The Wiekamp Blackos over there excited because their team is going to start the second half of the Crossroads League with an important win against the number 11 team in the country.
And Coach will tell you win number 701 is a whole lot sweeter than 700 probably.
No question about it. Here is Gerber over here to Schaus. Matt with 8 on the shot clock. Matt looks, lobs it inside now to Miz. And there's a turnover. Here comes Vandewater. Over here now to DJ Benninger. He drives, shoots, and scores. 95-85. With 3.7 seconds to go, they'll inbound the basketball. The Bethel College Pilots win the ball game today and improve to 17-5, and most importantly, 6-4 in the Crossroads League. Indiana Wesleyan's 5-game winning streak has come to an abrupt end. They dropped to 17-5 and 7-3 in Crossroads League play. Pilots now 187-62 here in the Gates Gym. Oh, how sweet is victory number 1,142 on the history of the program. We're going to get some thoughts from some of the guys. We'll get some thoughts from Ryan here momentarily, and do that right now. Oh, I tell you what, he is. He's been living large. Has been the senior. I tell you what, the collective sigh of relief by the crowd when you went down with that knee thing. It was, oh my goodness, and Mom's over there crying. And hey, nice shiner, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
Tell us about the knee. What happened over there?
I just, they all going for the ball, and I just got dove on, just kind of twisted, kind of funny. But she said, she went over there, she said my ACL felt nice and tight, so that's pretty good.
That's good. Now, tell me about the black eye. You got it looks like you're a prize fighter out there.
Oh, yeah, she said probably 5 or 6 stitches, and I'll be all right. But, yeah, I just got caught an elbow on the rebound.
You know, Mom had just finished wiping off the tears from the knee, and she kind of had a smile on, and then she had to grab the Kleenex because the eye was bleeding. And, hey, great effort.
Talk about the effort here today. You guys wanted it more right from the, I thought really right from the opening 15 minutes.
Definitely. Well, I think we dug ourselves a little hole in the first half conference, and we're fighting to get back to Branson. So we're not in a very good position, so I think that motivated us a little more today.
All right, get in that locker room and send out Pat and Miz.
Sounds good.
Send out Gerber.
Okay.
Hey, Gerber.
Pat, Miz, and Gerber.
Send the bigs out here. I like the bigs.
Want some flies too?
Yes, indeed.
Great job, Ryan.
We'll take a timeout. We'll come back with more right after this on Regional Radio Sports.
College softball players Mallory Holtzman and Liz Wallace know winning isn't everything.
It's how you hold your head at the end of the game and how you walk off the field.
These two athletes carried their opponent around the bases after she injured herself hitting the winning home run.
Whether you win or lose on the field, if you did the right thing, then you did win.
And they showed us the right thing is sportsmanship. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com.
All right, back to our broadcast location. Paul Condry along with Mark Gardner, Matt Copsey, and our great team, Pat Doherty, along with Brad Brink, Tanya Condry, and the incomparable Matt Copsey, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you what an important win for the Bethel Pilots. Before we go to the stats, let's update the Crossroads League standings because the second season is upon us, and with the loss by Indiana Wesleyan here today, the waters get a little muddy.
Yeah, top two teams, Huntington and Wesleyan fall, so they go to 7-3. Marion jumps up to 6-3. The Pilots at 6-4. Grace at 5-5. We're still waiting for an update from the St. Francis game, so St. Francis still sitting at 7-2 heading into today.
All right, here's my main man, Pat Eddy, the big fella from Fort Wayne. First of all, another double-double. You had a double-double at Mount Vernon. Take a game off, have another double-double. You just keep working hard there, buddy. So tell us about, I thought your guys wanted this game more than Iowa did.
Oh, we wanted it really bad. And we came out in the first half. We knew we turned it over sometimes we shouldn't have, and we missed some possessions. The second half, we didn't miss those possessions, and we just kept running them. We knew they were tired, and the more we pushed, the more tired they got, and it was just a snowball effect. We ended up up 19 at one point, and they were all off fast break layups.
But give us an idea on the importance of this when you come out and play with this sense of urgency. I mean, really, this is it, Pat. Because if you don't play well down the stretch, you're not going to Branson.
Yeah, we know we have to win these, and we got 8 more left now, and they're all huge. One game's not bigger than the next. Iowa's not bigger than Spring Arbor or Goshen. They're all important from here on out, and we've been to Branson. We want to go back, and that's a big thing for us. And we hit a rough stretch, but we're on our way up.
Pat, we've talked about your weight loss. You know, it's so good to see you be able to run the floor and explode, and just you're in better shape. You can tell us about how much time you put in this offseason to get this way.
Yeah, I put in a lot of work this summer, and it was a couple times a day. You know, running in the morning, lifting, shooting at night, and a lot of it just came down to eating right. And first time in my life this summer, I ate the right stuff and not Taco Bell and tons of pizza and, you know, it was lunch meat sandwiches and fruit.
Well, we're glad you did it because it's real fun to watch you run the floor and get up and throw those dunks down.
All right, buddy. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Big win. All right, Pat Eddy joining us here today. And the rest of the bigs are going to come in. And, boy, I tell you what, did they step up and play good. All right, Brandon Gerber, Michael Mislin, great job, big guys. All right, Gerbs, I thought that you just did an outstanding job of if there was a loose ball to be had or a deflection or a scrappy hustle play, you made it all day today.
Thanks, Paul. This is a huge game. I'm so proud of our team and Mike and Pat and all the bigs. It was just such a group win, team win. Everybody stepped up. We worked hard for each other, caring about each other, and just made the plays we needed to make.
If you look back on the box score from the first Iowa game and look back at the box score for this Iowa game, it's almost like 2 different players. Mm-hmm. What motivated you to change everything in your life?
Yeah, we just, we didn't get the results we wanted the first time through conference, especially down at IWU. Didn't play a whole lot. It fired me up to respond in this game, and I know Mike felt the same way, and he was just all over the place, and it was great to watch.
All right, tell us about Michael Mislin. He's been in that doghouse. You've both been in the doghouse before, and sometimes you just got to fight your way out of the doghouse, right?
Absolutely. We've been here a long time. We've been through the ups and downs. Mike's like a brother to me. We've been there for each other, just encouraging each other, and knew we needed to step up for this team to be successful, and I'm just so proud of him.
All right, Mike, likewise for you. Just share your thoughts. And once again, another solid, a great effort the last time out. You follow up with another great performance. Share your thoughts on this one.
No, it's great getting out here and playing, especially with Brandon, the way he's picked it up. Like, I just follow the leader, and he's been the leader here. Like, he's the one bringing the energy. I'm just playing along with him, and it's so much fun playing like that.
With the 3 of you, with Pat and Brandon and yourself playing, formidable playing, getting all the hustle plays, doing all those things, this is a really, really tough matchup with all the firepower that this team has.
Absolutely. That's exactly what we pride ourselves on. Brandon and I talk to each other. Just no one can box us out in this conference, and that's how we look at it, and that's how we play like.
We were under the impression that you guys wanted it more than Indiana Wesleyan. Did you get that same impression?
Oh, absolutely. Later in that second half, we came out and we just were firing. We were going everywhere. We were getting loose balls. Like you said, we were we were pumped up. We were just playing with so much energy.
Now, the reality of it is you're better than Goshen, who you're going to play on Tuesday. But you still have to come out and you got to play with the same type of fire. So talk about the internal motivation that must come from within your own hearts and your own minds to play at this level on Tuesday against a team that you're better than.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we know what we got to do with one game at a time in this conference. If you don't come out ready to play, anybody can get you any night. And we know where we want to go and what we need to do to get there, and that starts with Goshen this week.
Miss?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, especially us as seniors, we know every game matters in this conference, and there's no plays off. It doesn't matter who you're playing. Every team's going to be tough. Yeah, it's just like Branson. That's how we look at it. Like every team in this conference is tough.
Congratulations on a great effort, Mike, Brandon.
Thank you
we are
very
very
much.
proud
Thank
of your
you.
continued success, and keep up the good work. And we'll see you on Tuesday over at the Roman Gingrich Center. Now let's give it over to the tallest guy here at the table. Here he is. He's a happy camper, too, assistant coach Tony Natale. Tony, first of all, I thought the energy, once you kind of got in the ebb and flow of the game, I thought the Pilots really, really brought it today.
Yeah, we did some good things. It was good to see guys step up on the bench and have the games they did, like the two guys you just talked to. But total team effort all the way around today.
You know, realistically, if you were to look at the numbers by Matt Schaus from an offensive production standpoint, take away his free throws, you're probably going to say, well, Bethel lost the basketball game. But he does a lot of other things on the floor to be able to contribute. But as I say that, everybody else stepped up when he necessarily didn't have his great offensive game.
Yeah, and actually, Matt, to be honest with you, doesn't need to have great offensive games all the time. He just needs to be solid, do the things we've asked him to do, and sometimes he worries too much about the offensive end. But, you know, he did some good things today. I thought we had a lot of great play from a lot of different people today, and that really helped us in the win.
Talk about the confidence this gives you. Huntington losing today, too, so both the top two teams losing. So, you know, once again, Coach, you remember I said four losses is going to win the Crossroads League, and as we hit the second half, these are the kind of things that you got to come to play each and every Tuesday and Saturday.
Yeah, I think actually it may be 4, maybe 5. You never know. But we just got to take care of one game at a time. You know, we're in our second cycle through the conference. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And you know, we had to take care of the day at home, and then we need to enjoy this one for a few hours and try to get home in the blizzard and the snow and everything, and then we'll get ready for Goshen.
Well, let's hope those recruits that were in the building are excited about Bethel College basketball, because I know that the boys that are here would like to have them in the blue uniform.
Absolutely. I think they had a good time today. Absolutely.
Coach, thanks for stopping by.
All right. Thank you,
Once
Paul.
again, Tony Natale joining us here. We're going to go on over to the incomparable Matt Copsey, who's going to give you the final numbers in today's game. Matthew?
Okay, for Indiana Wesleyan, DJ Bettinger, 3 of 9 from the field, 1 of 1 from the free throw line, 8 points. Lane Mahurin, 3 of 7 from the field, 3 of 5 from the free throw line, 9 points. Zach Vandewater, 5 of 13 from the field for 13 points. RJ Mahurin, 7 of 16 from the field, 5 of 8 from the free throw line, 20 points. Jordan Widener, 6 of 13 from the field, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 21 points. Kalen Dubels, 0 of 1 from the field. Eric Redmond, 1 of 2 from the free throw line for 1 point. Tyler Greathouse, 1 of 4 from the field for 3 points. Nathan Bubash played but did not score. Bob Peters, 4 of 7 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 10 points. Wesleyan was 29 of 70 for the field for 41%, 11 out of 30 from three-point range for 37%, 16 out of 22 from the free throw line for 73%. For the Pilots, Travis Smith played but did not score. Matt Schaus, 3 of 11 from the field, 8 of 10 from the free throw line, 14 points. Zach Miller, 5 of 9 from the field, 6 of 6 from the free throw line, 20 points. Ryan Benner, 7 of 14 from the field, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 19 points. Patrick Edding, 6 of 10 from the field, 2 of 5 from the free throw line, 14 points. Caleb Ochin, 1 of 2 from the field, 3 points. Landon Booker, 3 of 7 from the field, 1 of 1 from the free throw line, 7 points. Brandon Gerber, 4 of 5 from the field, 0 of 2 from the free throw line, 8 points. Michael Mislin, 3 of 5 from the field, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 10 points. Ryan Wassink played but did not score. Bethel was 32 of 63 from the field for 51%, 6 out of 15 for three-point range for 40%, and they were 15 out of 25 from the 25 out of 32 from the free throw line for 78%. Pilots won the battle of the boards 48-30, 12 rebounds for Edding, 10 for Brandon Gerber to lead the way, 9 rebounds for R.J. Mahurin to lead Indiana Wesleyan, 14 assists for Indiana Wesleyan, 5 for Widener, 3 for Vandewater, 2 each for Lane Mahurin and DJ Bettinger. 20 assists for the Pilots, 6 for Zach Miller, 4 for Matt Schaus, 3 for Ryan Benner, 2 each for Ochin, Booker, Gerber. 13 turnovers for Bethel, 7 for Indiana Wesleyan, 3 blocks for Indiana Wesleyan, 1 for Peters, 1 for R.J. Mahern, 1 for Lane Mahern. Pilots had 4 blocks, 1 each for Matt Schaus, Patrick Edding, and 2 for Michael Mislin. 7 steals for Indiana Wesleyan, 3 for R.J. Mahern, 2 for Zach Vandewater, 7 for the Pilots, 3 for Zach Miller, 2 for Matt Schaus.
Coach, your final thoughts, and I'll wrap up the scoreboard show here, and we'll bid you adieu.
Just what I was saying is that the bigs played real well today. Benner and Miller played well. Matt Schaus, I thought, struggled, but he came up big at the foul line down the stretch. 8 for 10 from the free throw line. Grabbed 9 rebounds, like you said, with Coach Italia there. And so it's just nice to see this team. We know that they're deep. We know that guys can step in. And it's a game where Travis Smith only plays 7 minutes. Just wasn't a good matchup for Travis. And I can guarantee you on Tuesday night he's going to be in the starting lineup and going to give you good minutes against Goshen. So.
All right, some scores to pass along. Of course, Indiana Wesleyan was able to beat the Lady Pilots today, 69-64. Some controversial things happening at the 56-second mark. We'll get some of those details at our next time together. 69-64 there. Also on the women's side, Spring Arbor defeated Goshen 91-83. Mount Vernon was crushed by the number 1 team in the country, St. Francis, 102-66. Huntington upends Marion 74-65, and Grace behind J.J. Jackson, they beat Taylor 73-72 as Johnnice Jackson became Grace's all-time leading scorer. On the men's side of the ledger, the St. Francis Mount Vernon game was a late start. It was not supposed to start till 4 o'clock Eastern time out in Ohio. But the finals that we do have, Spring Arbor was able to take care of business at the Great Airplane Hangar up in Michigan. They win the ball game 77-57. Marion goes wire to wire and beats Huntington tonight 64-55. Grace rallied from a 38-26 halftime deficit to win 66-62. And the Bethel College Pilots, the Pilots were tied 36-all with 19.8 seconds to go in the first half. Zach Miller sent the Pilots to the locker room with a 2-point lead. The Pilots then came out of the gates, my oh my, with 5 unanswered to jump out to a 9-point lead. That lead eventually ballooned to a plus 19 at the high water mark at 12:05 to go on a pair of Michael Mislin baskets. And then the Pilots were able to take care of business. Indiana Wesleyan did finally break the single-digit barrier, and they cut the lead to 80-72 with 2:51 to go. But the Pilots were able to knock down some key free throws down the stretch and secure a 95-85 win against the number 11 team in the country, Indiana Wesleyan. Wildcats dropped to 17-5 overall. Bethel improves to 17-5. Wildcats now 7-3 in conference play, and the Pilots now at 6-4. College basketball today has been presented in part by the Gates Automotive Group. Also want to thank our friends at Beef O'Brady's. Good food, good sport. Beef O'Brady's. Don't forget you can watch the Coach's Box online at www.rsn.com or join us on the radio on 91.1 FM The Globe every Thursday. Join Matt, Adam, Pat, and Paul every Thursday from 6 to 7 Eastern Time, 91.1 FM. Always a good time. Also want to thank our friends at Cardinal Bus, Hacienda Mexican Restaurants, Teachers Credit Union, and anchoring our coverage today, the United States Marine Corps. Once again, special thanks to our amazing crew here, courtside here at snowy Mishawaka. Thanks to Brad Brink, Pat Doherty, Matt Copsey, Tiny Cutter, Mark Gardner. I'm Paul County. Pilots win. Pilots win. We'll be back with you on Tuesday on Regional Radio Sports. God bless you all. Semper Fidelis. Good night, everyone.